Bit of product placement to start the show. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back, in fact, to KUMBTV's Eyes Up Mother Brown. It's been a while, hasn't it, since we've been with you, but we're delighted to be back on the stream. And at this almost unprecedented time of 3 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon. Bizarre. Anyway, it's good to be back. I'm joined this afternoon by my good friend Rio. Rio, how are you doing?
Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, I'm doing all right, thanks, mate. 3 o'clock on a Saturday.
Caught you out there, didn't it?
Used to mean football. The rest of our moderating team and normally join in with these broadcasts. Pinky, fair enough. He's actually gone in the game. Everyone else, I think, shopping because, what else would you do on a Saturday at 3 o'clock?
I've gone down Harvey Nicks with their better halves, of course, to do some shopping. Yeah. So, of course, it is just myself and Rio this afternoon, but that's good. We'll keep the bands going and all that, and hopefully get loads of you involved on the live stream, those of you that are joining us this afternoon, while I'm posting the links around our social media channels to let everyone know how they can join us. For those of you that aren't already here, of course, Rio is going to take us through today's teams, Wolverhampton Wanderers versus West Ham United. Have at it, Rio, if you will.
Certainly, yeah. Right. The home side line up as follows. In goal, Mahero Dasar. I'm sure his name on Match of Day is pronounced a lot shorter than that, though. According to the BBC site, they're going to start with a back three, and that will be Kilman, Connor Cody, and Say. A midfield of Nelson Semedo, Neves, Yao Montino, and Ike Nuri, and an attacking triumvirate. And yes, I did say triumvirate.
Like it.
I don't know if I said it properly, but there you go. Podence, Huang Hichan, and Raul Jimenez. The substitutes for the home side are Hueva, Marcel, Makado Trincao, Bowley, Fabio Silva, John Ruddy, Leo Dendonka, Adana Traore, and Kundal, who I've never heard of.
No.
And for the happy, rip-roaring goal-scoring hammers.
You're yours.
In goal, Lucas Fabianski. Back four of Ben Johnson, Kurt Zuma, Craig Dawson, and Aaron Creswell. In midfield, we have anchored by Thomas Soucek and Declan Rice. Augmented by Jared Bowen, Pablo Fornells, Said Benrahma, and ploughing the lone thrower up front. Back from abroad. Back from scoring outside the box for the first time in his career is Mikel Antonio. On the bench for us, we have Vladimir Sufel, Andrei Yarmolenko, Manuel Lanzino, Nislo Vasic, Alphonse Areola, Mark Noble, Issa Diop, Arthur Masuaku, and Alex Krell. So just one change from the starting lineup. Enforced injury to Andrew Bonner, but Craig Dawson steps into the breach.
Perfectly timed, my friend. Perfectly timed. I've just finished posting the links to social media. Hello and welcome to those of you joining us already on stream. Hello to Davey O'Rourke, to Polaroid, two of our regulars. Hope you're well, chaps. Hope you're doing good. And let us know what you think of this afternoon's game, the teams, what you think the score is going to be. Let's have some predictions on the live chat, if you like. We'll be taking a look at those teams in just a second, but just to let you know that Rio will be keeping an eye on the KUMB.com forum match thread this afternoon, while I, assuming I can do two things at once, which of course, as any of our wives out there will know, is not usually possible for me. We'll be keeping an eye on molinewmix.co.uk, the Wolverhampton Wanderers equivalent of KUMB.com, where they're not particularly confident at the moment. Should we, before we go into the teams, should we have a quick look at the forums and just see what the fans are thinking? How are our lot looking at KUMB.com? Is there a general air of confidence there?
Yeah, there is actually. Despite the fact we've had a lot of players away on international duty, when we normally kind of suffer in that kind of respect the week afterwards, there's a general air of confidence.
Nice.
People are saying, because we're so massive, anything's possible. Only one naysayer during the whole kind of match thread so far, and he predicted a 3-0 defeat.
Ooh.
So, but everyone else, just a couple of examples, Iron Rhino, they don't nearly carry out as much attacking as threat as we do, 2-1 to us. Felixstowe's finest, another 3 points today, 3-0. You know, that's what people are now. People are up there, up to there.
Yeah.
Higher than my 5'4" towering presence. We're up to 5'7" of sheer confidence.
And that's in his high heel shoes. You know, it's funny just having a look, Rio, at the at Molineux mix, and they're really, really not confident at all. Kind of summed up by a poster there called Elvis Wolf, who has a tagline of "just doesn't shut up." So I mean, probably do well on our forum. But he says the pessimism on here today is palpable. I don't know why we're bothering to even leave the dressing room. I despair. Come on, Wolves, prove the doubters wrong. Overconfidence, Rio. Is it a bit of a danger today? I mean, there certainly seems to be a little bit even among the fans. You think the players might be sort of, in danger of that?
I know that there is always that kind of edge to it. No, we're not used to being confident, so I think people are now milking it for all it's worth just to get their whole last 30 years quota out of the system. It's very unnatural, but let's face it, some of our key players have had a little bit of a break this weekend. This week during the international break. Declan Rice didn't play for England. Yep. Thomas Souček didn't play both games for the Czech Republic.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple of players who have looked a little leggy at times this season.
Yeah, they have.
So
yeah, you're right.
Maybe we're entitled to be optimistic. It doesn't happen often. Let's ride the wave.
Yeah, right. Why not? I totally agree with that. And we can sit here at the end and discuss what's happened. Hopefully, we'll be proved to be right. What's your prediction today, Ria? What do you reckon?
I'm actually going to buck the trend. I'm not actually confident because every time I am confident, it comes back and bites me on the backside. So I'm going to go because I do like Wolves' front three. I think they are quite useful, quite potent, and a bit of a threat. Yeah. We've got Dawson in instead of Bonner, who's for the last 2-3 years has been our star defender, an absolute rock at the back for us. Yeah, and it's a really big loss for us. Angelo being out for the rest of the season by the looks of it. Yeah. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 defeat.
Do you know what? I was going to say exactly the same thing. I was going to say all this confidence. Maybe this kind of is an indication of how long we've been following West Ham. But I've just got a funny feeling. I don't know why. I've just got a funny feeling about today. But hopefully, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go for a 2-1 defeat. Hopefully, we'll both be proved wrong, and long may that be the case. But just talking. I mean, you mentioned it there. Angelo Bonner had an operation this morning. Covered it on the KUMB.com homepage on the news section there. If you haven't seen it, there's a picture of Angelo beaming from his bed following the operation this morning. Do you think we can cope with central defence with what we got, Rio, for the rest of the season, or do we absolutely need to spend in January?
I do think we need to augment at the back. I mean, Craig Dawson has done an absolute sterling job since he came to the club. He's surpassed every expectation going from fan, teammate, probably alike. Yeah. But I do think a natural left-sided defender of a superior class is needed. Mm-hmm. It's a Diop we have on the bench, and I think he's played really well this season. But unfortunately for him, he had his major blip the week before Angelo's injury. Yeah. It didn't stand him in good stead, obviously, and that's why David Moyes hasn't picked him.
Yeah. I mean, he was. We gave him the Player of the Month, didn't we, in September, following those good performances in the Europa League, and he just had that one game where he was really out of sorts, didn't he? And kind of slipped out of contention, I guess, really. But Craig Dawson had a bit of a blip himself, didn't he, in the second half of last season? But has looked really, really assured defensively, and of course going forward this year. Any qualms about him being, put into that team today?
Judging by his form this season, no. But as you said, it's very much like Issa himself, isn't it? You just don't know when that little dip is going to come. Sadly, Craig has got it. But what I would do like about Craig Dawson is that not only has he surpassed his expectations and defended like an absolute trooper for us, in recent weeks, he's riding the crest of the optimism and of the whole squad, because I've seen him hit 20, 30-yard crossfield passes and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't think he'd had in his locker his entire career.
I should stress we're underway. at Molineux. For those of you that have got a stream, West Ham currently looking to attack. We're kicking from left to right on the TV as we look. Michail Antonio's got the ball about 25 yards from goal, plays it inside to Fornals, who switches it out left to Aaron Cresswell in the West Ham playing in the sun. The sun coming across the main stand there at Molineux, and probably a nightmare for the TV companies because half of the pitch is bathed in sunshine and the other seems to be in sort of semi-darkness at the moment. But yeah, West Ham starting on the front foot. How are you doing with that stream, Rio? Are you in?
I'm doing very poorly.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll let me know how you get on in the next couple of minutes, and we'll keep an eye on it through this one anyway. But Wolves are back in possession on the halfway line. 1 minute 20 seconds gone at Molineux. Wolves holding the ball up, now in possession. Good, strong West Ham team out today. Some predictions from our team on the live stream. Welcome to everyone, Andy, to Hobo, Polaroid, and David already said hello to Aaron. Hi, Aaron. Hi, Rob, and everyone else joining us. Polaroid going for a 2-0 West Ham win. David O'Rourke going for a 2-1 West Ham win. So counterbalancing our rather disappointing predictions, you might say, Rio. But Hobo also going for a 2-1 defeat. So it seems to be a bit of a mix out there. Wolves breaking down the left-hand side anyway. 25 yards from goal. Good interception by Kurt Zouma, but Wolves regain possession. It's out on the left now, 20 yards from goal. Huang cutting inside, looking for options, plays it into the centre. Said Benrahma pushes forward to challenge. The ball's played down the right, and it's too heavy for Semedo and out for a West Ham goal kick. What do you think about this team, Rio? I mean, I think we tend to say this every week, don't we? It really picks itself now, but I suppose the only contentious selection there is Johnson retaining his place, should I say, over Soufal. But any issues with that?
No, but judging by his recent form, Ben Johnson thoroughly deserves that place in the side. You can't fault a single thing he's done. We've mentioned it in the past on here. I mean, I was incredibly dubious about whether he'd actually make the grade.
Yeah,
I always thought he'd be a capable Championship League One player. But in the last few weeks, he has surpassed every expectation going, and he thoroughly deserves his spot.
Yeah, totally agree. Going back to the streaming situation, Wembley has posted in the live streaming thread on the KUMB.com forum if anyone's looking for a stream. Anyway,
I have live action.
Hey, good. We're all on. How are you doing for time? Whereabouts are you?
3 minutes 15.
Okay, we're pretty much bang on. I'm about 3 or 4 seconds ahead of you, so we might be able to celebrate hopefully a West Ham goal in unison for a change rather than delays across the board. Anyway, Wolves have the ball. It's in the sunshine out on that left-hand side as West Ham playing. The ball coming off. So I think it's actually a free kick. Soufal a little bit late on the challenge. No, not given. In fact, that's a replay. But ignore me. Scrap the last 10 seconds. Wolves have a throw on the just inside their half. Ball play from left out to the right-hand side to Wolves' number 3, who looks for options ahead of him. Nothing on, so he plays the ball back inside. That is, of course, Anai Nuri, I think you pronounce that. West Ham turn the ball over and have a throw-on of our own just inside the half. Is it a shame, Rio, that we haven't had a game for 2 weeks? Because we were sort of on a roll, weren't we, just before that Liverpool game? Have we lost that a bit, do you think?
Saying that, though, I mean, there's a couple of performances. I mean, it was a really weird one, wasn't it, at Villa? We won 4-1. The last 20 minutes were majestic. There was a really sticky patch after they had their man sent off. I didn't think we played particularly well that game. Obviously, at Genk, we had a really shocking first half.
Yeah.
So, this break might have done us a little bit of good. As I said, not everyone's played every single minute. They're in international duties. And key players like Souček and Rice have got a little bit of a rest. So, this could do us a favour, actually.
Jared Bowen's just had the first shot of the game from 20 yards. It's closed down, though, and the ball, in the end, lost all its power and rolled straight through to Jose Sarr in between the Wolves sticks. West Ham looking to build again. On the left-hand side with Aaron Cresswell. What did you make, Rio, of that? Well, hang on, let's just stick with this a second because West Ham are looking to produce something here. Said Benrahma switches the ball out wide on the right to Johnson. Johnson comes back inside. Declan Rice. First time we've really seen him on the ball. Plays it short to Said Benrahma. Benrahma back to Rice. Rice looks for options again and comes all the way back to Kurt Zuma. So we'll leave that for a second until something hopefully more exciting happens. Yeah, Michael Antonio, Rio, what did you make of that David Sullivan sticking his hand in his pocket and shelling out for a private jet? Unusual.
I think it needs must, isn't it? Now, we've only got one striker. We don't look after him and get him back. Because normally we would have stuck him in the mailbags in the back of the plane and probably just dumped him with a parachute in the middle of nowhere somewhere. So, no, we've got to protect our only real attacking asset at the moment. And no, I'm still just gutted that after all this time, he's decided to score from outside the box. But he's done it 3,000 miles away. It's not fair, Mick. It's not fair at all.
7 years, wasn't it? He said, Rio, since the last time he did that, scored from outside the box.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's not on.
Wolves breaking on the right hand side. This looks dangerous. A chance for a cross to come in. Cuts inside Cresswell. The ball played back. It's going to go in the box now. But Cresswell's done really well to nick it off the attacker's foot. And West Ham have got a chance to count now. Michael Antonio, lovely turn. And he's breaking down the left-hand side, looking for options. Only Jarrod Bowen inside at the moment. Antonio's still with the ball. He's at the side of the penalty box, looking to put it in. He's tried to chip it in, but it's come off 2 defenders. And in the end, he's closed down by 3 or 4 players. But it's a bit of a hurry clearance. And Antonio has the ball again, loses it again out by the corner flag. And always have the opportunity to break out. Yeah, I just thought that was kind of funny because, we all remember, Wolves looking dangerous here again on the right-hand side. They're on the edge of West Ham's box. The ball is played inside to Hwang, but West Ham intercept again. So it's no one really able to get their foot on the ball at the moment. I was just going to say, Rio, that remember when we played at Everton in the Carabao Cup, David Sullivan was bemoaning the fact that I think that he had to spend 50 grand, wasn't it, to send the boys up there on the plane, and yet here he was shelling out twice that to get Antonio one player back from the game. Well, what about that Antonio goal against the USA? But special that one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it weren't bad, was it? No, I've seen him score worse. His debut goal for West Ham was far less spectacular than that one. But I'm just gutted that he's not doing an England shirt because he's the kind of. I know we scored 10 against San Marino, but be honest, us two could have done that on our own.
I reckon,
he's the kind of striker I think that England really need. It gives us that different option up front. And it gives us something that isn't really available elsewhere in the Premier League at the moment. And I just wish he was playing his trade for us rather than Jamaica. And actually, the only positive thing about him playing for Jamaica or not England is that he's costing Dave Sullivan a fortune in airfares. That's the only thing I can really say is an absolute positive.
West Ham have just been awarded a free kick, which ended up with Said Benrahma on the right-hand side of the penalty box. Lofted one over, looking for a deep cross, but it's just landed on the top of the net and it's gone out for a Wolves goal kick. But West Ham have probably just about shaded the early exchanges here. 9 minutes in, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. West Ham United 0. Wolves have... They've done all right, actually, this season, really, haven't they? Considering they've been through a lot of changes, lost a goalkeeper, lost a manager, brought some other players in. But I think they were 9th, weren't they, going into today's game? I'm
just going to check, actually. I'm just bringing it up because actually 8th place before today, I think.
8th?
Yeah, this is the live table, so they might have ordered. But, from a very sticky start, they've settled down under the new regime. They've been playing some decent stuff.
Yeah.
And like I say, the front three, I really do like them. Jimenez has been a threat in the Premier League for the last couple of seasons.
Yeah.
But Hwang Chi, who we were linked with quite heavy in the last transfer, like was it January window, wasn't it?
Well, and the summer as well. Yeah.
He looks a real find, and Podence has finally grown into his role there. So they offer a lot of attacking options, and they're going to cause problems for a lot of people.
Yeah, Podence, the Wolves fans believe he's going to be a threat in the air if they get any set pieces. So we'll have to watch out for that. Hwang, of course, as Rio rightly says, has been, West Ham were looking at him all year, back in January, as Rio says, and also last summer. Eventually went to Wolves on loan, I think, for the season. I think Preview Percy pointed out he'd scored 4 goals already this season, but I think he's their leading goal scorer, but a threat nonetheless. 10 minutes gone. Wolves 0, West Ham United 0. Not a lot going on, which is why we're chatting about other things right now. West Ham have a throw-in just inside the Wolves half. Ben Johnson takes it short. It's played back. Craig Dawson, who's back in the side today at the expense of Angelo Ogbonna, who, as we mentioned earlier, has had surgery this morning. which he appears to have come through successfully, judging by the big smile on his face and the picture he posted on social media. The ball played long, looking over the top for Michail Antonio, but Jose Sarr comes out smartly to gather on the edge of his box, and the danger is averted. No real efforts on goal of note yet. Just that one shot, Jared Bowen in the 5th minute, a shot from just outside the box, which was closed down sharply and pretty much just rolled through to the goalkeeper. Big hello to Noam, not joining us today because he's. I think he's pretty much doing what Rio suggested earlier in the stream. Got domestic chores to do, so I hope they're going well known. Too busy gaming says, where can I watch the game? Excuse me, Mr. Gaming, if you, excuse me again, look on the KUMB forum, you can see it there. West Ham breaking down the right-hand side. Jared Bowen plays the ball across. It's just missed by Fornals, but Cresswell has the chance to put it back in. Sends a crossover. Header from Bowen. Oh, and it's only just wide of the goal. Better stuff, better. From West Ham there, Rio.
Yeah, the first real cohesive move we put together, and very unlucky not to pull something out of there. I mean, I would love for Pablo to get on that initial cross, because now just becoming far again would have really capped the week for him. But Bowen, incredibly unlucky. That was closer. I'm just looking at the replay now. That was incredibly close. Really good move. It's been a bit of a frenetic start without real much goal scoring opportunities, and that was the first cohesive move of the game, and we look dangerous there, very dangerous.
West Ham, the possibility of looking dangerous again. Michail Antonio on the left-hand side plays it short to Cresswell, plays it into Benrahma, who's just to the left of the Wolves box. Wolves keeping a close attention on them and winning the ball back. Poor ball from Benrahma, but it's a bad clearance by Wolves, and Antonio picks up, finds Bowen. Now Bowen can have a go. Sorry, not Bowen, it's Souček. Souček cuts onto his right-hand side, looks for the far corner, but it's a weak shot. It's pretty easy for the goalie. Just going back to that Bowen chance there, Rio, I get the feeling, a lot of people say that he should perhaps be a little bit more prolific than he is in front of goal. And that's kind of, we both looked at that replay there, and it's a free header. He's 8 yards from goal, and it's a good chance, and it's not far wide. But surely he's got to be hitting the target there, hasn't he?
I mean, you would hope so. I mean, I think it was decent enough. It wasn't that far wide. You would like him to hit the target, obviously, but he's been in good goal scoring form over recent weeks, and he's on a crest of wave. He's very unlucky not to get an England call up, given like the England squad lost 4 or 5 players. Yeah, and we wasn't playing that tough an opposition set over the last week. It would have been ideal for him to kind of augment himself into the squad, get used to what's going on, and see what he's all about at that level. I think he's really unlucky, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm totally agree with you. I thought that was. I mean, we said that, didn't we? It would have been an ideal opportunity for Gareth Southgate to play, some fringe players and give them the opportunity against the teams like Andorra and San Marino, but didn't really take the opportunity. But anyway, 14 minutes. Wolves 0, West Ham United 0. Wolves yet to test Lucas Fabianski in West Ham's goal. Jared Bowen 5th minute. Jared Bowen header, 12th minute, and Thomas Souček shot on the 13th minute. West Ham's 3 efforts at goal so far. Bourbon, if you look on the KUMB.com forum, you will see a thread there entitled live streaming. Go in there and you may find some links if you're lucky. That's the KUMB.com forum and the general discussion forum. Rio, did you catch the earlier game today at all? Leicester-Chelsea?
No. The fact that he featured Chelsea kind of rendered it non-essential for me. Let's put it that politely. Non-essential. I couldn't give a monkey's about Chelsea. I wasn't particularly interested in watching them.
Well, do you know what? Funny that the only reason I was really watching it is because if Leicester had won and then we win here today, we'd have been level on points with Chelsea. So it actually had some West Ham interest. I'm saying, I don't really want to watch Chelsea, but to be fair, it was so one-sided. I mean, it finished 3-0 to Chelsea. I think Chelsea had 3 goals ruled off for offside within the space of about 15 minutes in the second half. It could quite easily have been 6 or 7. Leicester having a shocking season, I think, by their recent standards, aren't they, this year? They're down in 12th or 13th at the moment, but
they're
one-sided.
They're I hate to say it, but also Chelsea are building a very good side there. They've got the right man in charge. They've developed something a little bit special. But then again, when you spent that kind of money over the years, you're entitled to, aren't you?
Too right. West Ham breaking forward with Ben Rama, plays it inside to Antonio, who pulls it back out wide to Ben Johnson. Johnson looking to play the ball down the line to Antonio. It's just a little bit short, but Antonio's managed to win the ball, but he's just run it out of play, and it's a goal kick for Wolves. No side, or neither side, really able to string more than a few passes together at the moment. I mean, Wolves certainly look at, at 6s and 7s, and West Ham only slightly, more good with the ball at their feet, but it's been a bit of a quiet start really so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's crying out for someone, and we've got the likes of Rice, you've got Wolves' partnership, and Neves and Martino, just to put their foot on the ball, take this thing out of the game a little bit.
Yeah.
But no one looks interested in doing that, to be honest. It's just completely frenetic with no finesse.
West Ham playing quite a high press this afternoon, what they, as I often say, what they used to call defending from the front. Declan Rice has done very well to nip in and win the ball. 30 yards from Wolves' goal. This could be dangerous. Ball played into Bowen. He's looking for options. Plays it out to the left to Michail Antonio. Can Antonio get a crossover? Now he's waving at people, but the ball's still at his feet. Here comes the cross, looking for the fuck, and it's a poor cross. It's too deep, and it's going to roll out for a goal kick, which kind of, I think that really just sums up what we've seen, doesn't it, so far? It's no real quality from either side.
No, sorry. I've just been distracted by my son. He's just passed over something from was it Watford? Watford Man United game. Watford had have a goal disallowed and have just missed a penalty. Ollie's definitely at the wheel, I tell you. Still 0-0, by the way.
Oh, good. Okay. I was going to come to that actually, and just run through the scores in the Premier League, because there have been a few early goals. Newcastle won, Brentford won. Well, the game that Newcastle were eagerly looking forward to, weren't they, today? I think that's the first team that Eddie Howe has put out, even though I think he's absent through with COVID. Aston Villa 0, Brighton 0, Wolves, of course, 0, West Ham 0, Norwich 1, Southampton 1, goals there, as Rio said. Watford 0, Man United 0, and Burnley 0, Crystal Palace 1. What's going on at Palace, Rio? Seem to be having a pretty damn good season by all accounts.
Yeah, if you can make Christian Benteke score on a regular basis, you're doing something right, aren't you? No, I just think Patrick Vieira's actually changed the mindset of the club.
Yeah.
Under Hodgson, there was a completely kind of defensive, soak up the pressure, maybe hit on the break if they're very lucky, and just a bit of a negative side all in all. But Vieira's changed the culture. He's brought in Eduardo, who's helped kind of gel their attack together as well. So now he's doing good things there.
Wolves breaking on the left-hand side. Ben Johnson does really, really well to break up the attack. It was Jimenez who was looking to profit on the left-hand side, but Wolves back in possession on the halfway line. We're in the 19th minute. Still waiting for our first goal. Excuse me. Coke's playing havoc with my chest right now. Wolves breaking on the right-hand side. It's a really clever ball threaded through. This is dangerous. West Ham racing back. Pablo Fornals has closed down Neves. Neves plays it all the way back. Wolves building again inside. Moutinho in the centre of the pitch plays it out on the left-hand side to Nouri. Nouri puts the ball into the box. It's a dreadful, dreadful cross, but it's a equally poor clearance from Dawson, and Wolves on the edge of the box. It's another poor ball, and West Ham able to break again. And Wolves have looked really, really poor so far, but I think if you got a West Ham goal here, Rio, we might be looking at 2 or 3 more at this rate, the way it's going.
Yeah, I mean, we've showed all the more attacking intent than they have. We've defended well. When they're broke, we've seen the likes of Cresswell and Souček putting vital blocks and snatching the ball away and feeding our attack. You do think that whoever scores first in, I think it's more likely to be us, could run away with this.
Yeah, it's looking that way. Wolves in possession at the moment. They've had the ball at their feet for the last minute or so. We're about 30 yards from goal. Ball comes inside. It's Chang who plays the ball into the dangerous looking ball towards the penalty spot. West Ham managed to clear the danger. It's another poor clearance. So the shot comes in from Wolves. It's Wolves' first effort at goal from about 35 yards. I think it's Neves who's had the shot. Let's just have a look at the replay of that once again. Yeah, it's Fornals had a poor touch, and Neves has tried his luck from 25 yards, and it's never going to be troubling Fabianski, that one. So Wolves' first effort, as I said, at goal. West Ham had 3 shots so far. Wolves one. Just having a quick look at Molineux mix to see what our opposition fans are saying about the game so far. Contrarian says our one-touch passing is way off. West Ham's quick interplay and off-the-ball movement is looking far better than ours so far. Also, they get more forward and faster than us, showing how it should be done. We look a bit sluggish to me. Need to up our game, basically. If the flicks aren't working, then play safe. Don't take risks and keep it tight. And living at other WWFC, another poster says we're looking pretty lame so far. So they're not particularly confident with what they've seen so far. Rio, what's any more from West Ham in terms of confidence, and our fans a bit happy with what they've seen so far?
Yeah, actually, it's been it's a bit of a quiet thread at the moment, but just a couple of things to point out. If I can find them, because I'm using my wife's iPad and I'm not used to her setup, so this is a bit unprofessional. I apologise. But yeah, JLB Hammers put, and he's got an incredibly valid point. We're always nervous because Mike Dean's in charge. Bubbles has put, he's playing defensive midfielder for Wolves there, Mike Dean, stopping Jared Bowen's crossfield release. Iron Rhino, really good start. 6-1 Dixie, dare I say it, but we're controlling the game. It should be at least a goal to the good. And Junko Partner, quality start. We look like we really fancy this, but I think we all know what happens next. So it's just something at the end there to temper the optimism.
Yeah, and I suppose that shows that it's a good indication of what's happened on the pitch so far. The Wolves fans pretty pessimistic. Our fans looking a little bit more optimistic. But Wolves, I've had the ball for the last 3 or 4 minutes, not really doing anything with it. A couple of speculative crosses come in that have been poor, not found their man. But they're looking to build through Moutinho, who seems to have a lot of the ball at the moment. Him and Neves in the centre of the park there. The boys played out onto the left again to Aït-Nouri. Now, can he get a cross in? He's tried 2 or 3 times without luck. He's played it short this time to Hwang, who looks to play it short. And again, it's poor from Wolves. But West Ham's clearance is poor, given straight back to the opposition. And Hammers defending again. Keith Ennis posting on the live chat says that I think Bowen and Fornells give us a lot more than just goals. They're both capable goal scorers, but neither are prolific. They just give us a lot of energy going forward. Absolutely spot on there, Keith, I think. If you do like what we're just waiting for something to happen, if you like what you're seeing in our stream this afternoon, just under there, there's a thumbs up button. If you could give that a little click for us, that'd be much appreciated. And we've got 2 dislikes so far. I don't know what we've done wrong, but obviously upset a couple of people. 7-2 to the likes at the moment. But 0-0 on the pitch, which of course is where it matters. 23 minutes gone. Ben Johnson has a throw-in for West Ham. David Moyes issuing instructions, telling his players basically to get their finger out by the looks of it, Rio, on the touchline there. It looks like Kevin Nolan's come out and had a word as well.
Yeah, and I can't see what he's too disappointed with so far, because we have started rather brightly. A couple of little lapses at the back, though. I mean, the chance about 2 or 3 minutes ago, I think it was Hwang who got in behind.
Yeah.
He got forwarded too much time and space there, but it was a good defensive recovery. But, you know, on another day, that could easily be 1-0.
Yeah, got to be careful. We're giving the ball away a little bit too easily at the moment. Wolves once again in possession inside West Ham's half. The ball played inside to Neves. Neves and Moutinho interchanging. They're the 2 players. They're really beginning to get a grip on this game, especially in the midfield. Ball played back. Wolves still in possession, just inside the centre circle now as the ball comes out to the right-hand side. West Ham just holding their lines at the moment, waiting for Wolves to try and put us under a bit of pressure, which isn't happening right now. Wolves with the ball on the right-hand side, 35 yards from West Ham's goal. Come backwards yet again. And it's been pretty much the story of the game so far. It's played out to the left to Sace, plays a short ball inside. Really nothing happening in this match at the moment. We're halfway through the first. It's gone really quickly, that, Rio, isn't it? Halfway through this first half, and really not a lot has happened at all so far. Yeah.
The frenetic pace has kind of transpired into the clock, hasn't it? Because it has gone incredibly quick.
Yes. I'm just looking for West Ham stats. Just there was some match stats, but anyway, Wolves have the ball on the left-hand side now, played into the West Ham half. Wayne plays it short and trots off, and that's a much better ball down the flank. It's unfortunate for Wolves in that it hits Hwang's heel. As if the ball had been played in front of him, he would have been away with a clear opportunity to get the ball over from the left-hand side. But West Ham, a little fortunate, but giving the ball away yet again to Wolves. It's been a pretty shocking last 5 or 6 minutes for West Ham. Haven't been able to get our foot on the ball at all. Keep conceding possession, but Wolves unable to profit from it. Not really able to do anything from it so far. 25 minutes down. Let us know what you think of what you've seen so far on the live chat. Those of you that are joining us, thank you for the likes. For those of you who've clicked the button in the last couple of minutes, much appreciated. But yeah, it's all very dull right now. Ball's in the one thing we haven't discussed, of course, Rio, yet, while nothing's happening on the pitch. Mike Dean, referee, first time we've had to endure him this season.
Is it the first time since the Fulham game?
I think you could be right because, yeah.
I know he's done a VAR a couple of times since then, but I think it's the first time he's actually officiated since the game at Craven Cottage earlier this year now, isn't it?
The Souček game where he sent him off for
last minute Souček thing.
Yeah.
So far, apart from getting in the way of once or twice, he hasn't made any decisions I would disagree with, which is probably a world record for him. It's 26 minutes. He's sleeping. But does that mean he's just going to stock them all up for the second half? Because you just know he's got a list of things that he grudges against us. So I'm just waiting for a deluge of absolute drivel from him in the second half now.
Yeah, he's never really done us any favours over the years, as he going back nearly 20 years. But anyway, he certainly owes us a few. Ben Johnson has the ball for West Ham, loses possession once again, and Wolves looking to break. Can they break quickly? No, they can't, because Declan Rice has put in a good challenge. But Wolves yet again regain possession. I think it's about 10 minutes now since West Ham have been in the Wolves half. But as we said, the home side unable to do anything with it because they just can't break through the West Ham defence right now. There's been an equaliser at Turf Moor. Burnley have levelled against Crystal Palace. They were, of course, 1 down pretty early on. Lots of 3 o'clock games in the Premier League today, Rio. This might be something of a record, I'm guessing, for this season anyway.
Yeah, most definitely. I think what they're doing is, because of the international break, they're just lowering everyone into a full sense of security in that post-break kind of routine. Yeah. And thinking, get used to 3 p.m. on a Saturday for a change. But from next week, it's going to be back to like all over the shop. And what with Christmas coming, it'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You just don't know when games will be on. I'll be fried by December the 30th, I think, because I haven't got a clue what's coming up.
Ball played into the box. It's a shot coming in from the right-hand side, coming in from number 22, Semedo, who got forward, but he's really not got a very clean strike on the ball. And although Lucas Fabianski was scrambling over to his left-hand post, it's about 2 or 3 feet wide and no concern at all for West Ham. So it remains Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, West Ham United 0. Just scribbling some notes down here. Have we got any more goals in the Premier League? Talking about all those games, Newcastle still 1-0. Burnley have now scored again against Palace, 2-1 up. 2 very, very quick goals. Still no goals in that Watford and Man United game. Watford missed it. Do we know it was who missed that penalty, Rio, for the Hornets?
I think it was Sarr.
Sarr, okay, thank you. West Ham again looking to play the ball through the centre, but it's a really poor pass once again. And I imagine David Moyes will be doing his pieces on the touchline right now. We haven't seen any shots of him for the last few minutes, but Keith Ennis posting again says it looks like we're suffering an international break hangover. Hopefully we'll nick a goal soon. But yeah, we've done this, Rio, haven't we? The last, not every game, but there's some kind of pattern where in the first half of games, we've really not started that well. And even with Liverpool, we were a far, far better team in the second half. And, you mentioned Genk, of course, which was the most obvious example, I think, of, a poor start. But yeah, we're kind of doing this again, aren't we? Where, sort of like a team of the second half, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, but we need to kind of pattern break because we started brightly here. The first 10, 15 minutes, we was by far the better side. Bowen had that great chance, which it probably should have done a little bit better with, but it was a good move, good opportunity. As I say, that ball was just on the attack, but blocked in the area. It was, I think, a call for a penalty there.
It was, yeah. Mike Dean not interested. I think it definitely struck Johnson's arm, didn't it? But I think anyone would be hard pressed to suggest it was the ball. His arm was at an unnatural angle. But they're breaking again, and the ball's on the left-hand side with the cross comes in, looking for Wang, and this is a chance, real chance, time to pick his shot. Oh, that's a great block from Aaron Cress. I mean, it's ruled out for offside in the end, but yeah, I mean, it's we're seeing this a lot. The Wolves number 3, Ait Nouri, is getting an awful lot of ball now. We're just seeing a replay. It's not handball. It's come off. I think it's come off of his upper arm actually, and it looks to me. I mean, just looking at the slow motion replay. I mean, he's actually. I think he's just kicked it deliberately at him. Liverpool tactics, Rio. Salah we saw do that once or twice in the past, didn't we? Kicked it directly at a player's arm, trying to win a penalty in the box.
Yeah, but sadly, the thing is with these new rules, it's very much open to interpretation at times, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they get away with it, which is why other teams try it. It's the dark arts of football that really have no place in the game, but it is creeping ever increasingly more in. But with Mike Dean in charge, you just never know what's going to happen, do you?
No, well, this is the thing, isn't it? This is what we were saying a few minutes ago. It's you're absolutely right about the the VAR and all that. You just don't really know where you are right now. Watford have scored, I believe, at Vicarage Road. I think we've got a goal there. Man United behind us yet again. Wolves break on the left hand side. It's that number 3 putting the crossover, but he's dreadful. And that's a terrible clearance from Cresswell straight to Neves, and Wolves can break here. Fortunately, it's a really, really poor touch from Semedo, but that was an awful clearance from Cresswell that on another day could have proved costly. West Ham really need to buck their ideas up here, Rio. We're conceding possession, probably more in this game already than we have in much of the season, I would imagine. It's been a poor show so far. Yeah,
that opening period where we looked really bright, we've kind of crumbled completely. And I hate to say it, it almost looks as if David Moyes wants this half to end as soon as possible, because we've lost the plot here. We've not got the foot on our ball once. Everything's too frenetic. We've let Wolves control the midfield, and they're getting us. They're getting us big time.
They certainly are. Just having a quick look at the match stats. Wolves 64% possession, West Ham 36 as we approach the 33rd minute. 3 shots each, 1 shot on target for Wolves, 2 on shot target for West Ham. But West Ham, of course, haven't had an effort on goal in 20 minutes. 5th minute, 12th minute, and 13th minute West Ham's. But this is dangerous. This is dangerous. And Hwang's got behind. This is real bad news. Oh, dear Rio. We've got out of jail there, haven't we?
Absolutely. Ball in behind the defence, caught absolutely square, caught flat. I think it's Jimenez, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he's
it's not
run down on Fabianski, try to lob it, chip it over him, just dink it over. But he's Lookman'd it, and he's got that completely wrong. Skewed it wide, thankfully, but fantastic chance for Wolves, and we should be 1-0 down.
It's you're looking at this. The chances are beginning to add up now, and eventually one of these is going to fall their way. But that really, what a chance that is for Jimenez. I mean,
the Wolves just had a shot from about 25 yards out.
Yeah.
I think Fabianski has made a fantastic save, but my string has frozen just as the Fab's in mid-leap, and the ball I don't know where he's ended up.
Well, it's Moutinho's had the shot, I can tell you that, from about 26 yards out. And Fabianski is, I think it's just about going to go over the bar, but Fabianski's made sure and he's tipped it over anyway. It's pretty much meat and drink for a goalkeeper. It's a decent effort, but these shots really are beginning to add up now. Let us know when you get the stream back on anyway, Rio. Wolves have a corner on the right hand side. Aït-Nouri is looking to play it. Let's see what happens. Wolves got 3 men just gathering together on the penalty spot, looking to split. There they go. Ball placed in the near post. Oh, and it's gone right across West Ham's goal, and it's gone out for a goal kick. But one of those 3 players, Romain Saiss, made a break to the front post, and he's got a clear header on goal, and it's just glanced off of his forehead and gone completely across the goal, evaded everyone, and rolled out for a West Ham goal kick. So yet again, another chance, another opportunity for Wolves to open the scoring. And I get the feeling, Rio, that if they carry on doing this, they could well regret this by the by the end of the match. Semedo, Jimenez, Moutinho, Suisse, Neves, 4 decent chances in the last 5 or 6 minutes alone.
Yeah, it's not sustainable for us. We've really got to regroup and curtail this. We've really got to get our foot on the ball. We're just relinquishing possession at every given opportunity, and they're coming at us. They won't miss on this kind of level continuously for much longer.
Well, fortunately, West Ham are in the Wolves half right now as we speak for the first time in some considerable time. Just having a look at the lines to see, well, what's that, 30, 34, 35 yards from goal. Ben Johnson with the throw-in, looking for options. What has he got? Michael Antonio comes short, plays it to Antonio, who's going to play it back to Johnson. Johnson looks to go down the line, beats his man, beats one, a little 1-2 with Ben Rama, but there you go again. Another poor ball from Ben Rama. It's gone straight out for a Wolves goal kick. Have you got that stream back yet, Rio?
No, I'm just watching some building program. Looks, he's chucking it down.
I think you were just ahead of me actually there a minute ago, but anyway, I'll keep it. I'll keep you going. 36 minutes gone. Wolverhampton Wanderers nil, West Ham United nil, but Wolves should be ahead. In fact, they really should have 2 or 3 by now. They've squandered some real gilt-edged opportunities, none more so than Jimenez, who only had Fabio Yansky to beat and couldn't finish. Saeed Benrahma with a cross to the near post. But Sarr comes and claims it easily under the attentions of Nicole Antonio. Plays it quick. It's a really good ball. And he sets opponents away. Opponents up against Kurt Zuma. Zuma's done really, really well to prevent him. Declan Rice is furious about something. I'm not quite sure what that was. I think Wolves have been given a corner. Let's just have another look now. It's all stemmed from a goal kick by Sarr, who is actually outside his penalty area when he takes the kick or releases the ball. So it should be a free kick to West Ham. But let's have another look at this. I think Cresswell and Rice were appealing for I'm not quite sure what they're appealing for actually, but I think Podence was looking to take a little dive in the area there. Didn't convince Dean, but they have a corner. I think in the 37th minute. This is not good. Kurt Zuma is actually down on the pitch and looking in considerable discomfort as we speak. Now this would be absolutely dreadful for West Ham if he was unable to get up. He's back on his feet. Doesn't look that clever though at the moment. Mike Dean. Go. The referee, Mike Dean, having a word with Kurt Zuma. Now he's kind of hobbling, but he's back on his feet and it seems to be okay. But anyway, Wolves have a corner. We hope there's no further problems there. Ball's played short. Thomas Souček hoofs it out into touch. It's a Wolves throw-in. Talking of Thomas Souček, arrived 66, posting on live chat a few moments ago, said, okay, this is going to be controversial, but I'm going to say it anyway. Souček is not in his game, so bring on Crowell in his place. And yes, I know it's not like for like, sorry. Souček will score now that I've opened my gob. Well, let's hope so. Let's hope any West Ham player scores, because we haven't got close to scoring in the last, 24, 25 minutes or so. Another throw-in for Wolves anyway. Keith Ennis says you have to hope that these Wolves misses are a good sign that at some point we will wake up. Do we want second place badly enough? Of course, as Keith points out, the Hammers can go second with a win here today at Molineux, but looking very far from it right now, Rio. Anyway, with 38 minutes gone. Yep, I'm back as well, so I have a stream. Awesome. Where are you on your time? 38 and 40. So yeah, I'm not. Oh, you're ahead of me. Good stuff. You're 5 seconds ahead. So I shall defer to you for any notable incidents. We're just taking a look at the West Ham fans behind the goal there. Looks a bit muted actually. Those that have travelled up to the Midlands this afternoon, looking out for Pinky. Can't quite see him there at the moment. Anyway, the ball's back with Wolves goalkeeper Jose Sarr, who rolls it out short, and Wolves look to build again. Yes, Hope, I think you're right. So I think they were asking for the foul on Zuma. We'll keep an eye. We'll have to keep an eye on that situation just to make sure Kurt Zuma's okay, because they're treading a little gingerly after that challenge and stumble. But we'll see what happens. Of course, the last thing West Ham need right now is another defensive injury. We've got 12 games in 38 days as well, so we need everyone fit and firing. Wolves have a free kick. Mike Dean has awarded a free kick for a foul by Dawson on Jimenez. I'm not sure. I mean, what do we make of that, Ray? I mean, really, Dawson's just stood his ground. Jimenez, I know he's having a little flick out, isn't he? It's a foul, it's a free kick, but there's nothing any more than that. He's just stood his ground. And Jimenez has just run into him. And again, cheap foul, isn't it? We see these all the time nowadays. Yeah, certainly is. Big chance for Wolves here to make something of this free kick. We're in the final 5 minutes of the first half. Keith pointing out that Souček was rested for the second Czech match, as Rio alluded to earlier in the stream. So he ought to be up for it, but it's probably a little bit harsh, Rio, isn't it, to pick anyone out at the moment? No one's really looked particularly good for West Ham so far.
No, I think as a corner comes in, headed away, Wolves still have it, edge of the box, now into the corner. They're going to try and get it across. But we seem to be weathering the storm a little bit. But again, they swing it in. Fabianski catches easily. Yeah, no one's covered themselves in glory today. Pick the West Ham players for me so far has been Aaron Cresswell, has made a couple of really timely interventions. But anyone going forward in midfield, they've really not had a chance to shine, have they? We've been under the cosh for the last 20 minutes or so. It's far too long to sustain this kind of pressure in the Premier League.
41 minutes gone. Wolves nil, West Ham United nil. Now, I mentioned earlier that the Newcastle fans were looking forward to this afternoon's team selection. Saw some of their guys, especially the team at True Faith, who's one of their big fanzines up there, saying that it was the team selection they'd most eagerly looked forward to for about 8 or 9 years up there. And, well, they've certainly had a few goals at St James Park this afternoon because it's 2-2 against Brentford so far. I'm not quite sure the sequence of those goals. Palace have also scored at Burnley to make it 2-2. Watford still beating Manchester United. Villa and Brighton, the only other 0-0 in the Premier League at the moment, as apart from this one. Wolves have just had a shot. Anyway, another shot. Didn't quite see who that was, Rio. Did you catch who it was?
It's the number 22. I'm just trying to find who that was, but...
Semedo again, who had that chance a few moments ago. But it's high and wide and not threatening Lucas Fabianski's goal at all. But, these shots beginning to rack up now. Just going to have a quick look at the stats and see where we are. That's 6 now, 6 shots for Wolves. I thought it was more than that, actually. West Ham still haven't had a shot since the 13th minute, bordering on half an hour now since West Ham tested. But here's a chance for the Hammers to do it. Said Benrahma plays the ball down the right-hand channel, looking for Jarrod Bowen. Bowen's just going to keep it in and wins a corner. So here we go. Chance for West Ham. Set-piece Kings, Rio, of course. Could this be our moment?
Yeah, I'm waiting for the whatever country's feed I'm watching from, their equivalent to Sky, flash up their stats, how many goals we've scored, but they're not having none of it. So I'm quite disappointed, and it's probably jinxed us. I like the point. Sorry, Benrahma's ball there was really not great. He's definitely not being the races today whatsoever. But we're about to take the corner. Going to swing it in. And,
we've scored, but it's been what? The ball's in the back of the net.
Foul's been given. Mike Dean's curtailed any kind of interest there. But that was a decent corner in. I think we got ahead to it. I thought he was heading for goal, hence my little bit of theatrics. But foul given against Kurt Zouma. Yeah, he's actually climbed above the Wolves defender. Actually went in. We actually scored on that, but I think you're going to find him up in the foul on the keeper by Mikel Antonio there as well.
I'm not convinced that's a foul at all by Zouma, looking at the replay from the other angle. I think the first angle, it looked decidedly dodgy, but the second one, I think he's just climbing. I'm not sure but this is dangerous. Wolves into the box, ball's played in. Cresswell, Rio's man of the first half so far, does really, really well to get in the way and basically put a clearance on, would have been a certain goal otherwise. Mikel Antonio, chance to counter, poor touch. Wolves looking to break on the right-hand side. It's all happening now as we rapidly approach half-time in the final minute of normal time. Kurt Zouma wants a free kick for offside, doesn't get it. The ball's played across. Oh, and Ben Johnson this time does really well to clear a very, very dangerous-looking ball in the box. Mikel Antonio, well, I mean, that's just a hook and a hoof from the touchline and concedes possession again. 30 seconds left of the first half. What did you make of that, Rio? Were you convinced that was a foul by Zouma?
Looking at it, I think he's used the man as leverage to get up a little bit, but I think the referee might have given it for Antonio taking out the keeper more than anything. Yeah. But it was a decent header and a good delivery. But because the stat didn't come up from Syrian TV, it was never going to count, was it?
We're in the final few seconds of the first half. West Ham on the left-hand side. Cresswell looking to break. Plays it short to Fornals, who also has been really, really quiet so far. Fornals looks up, plays it back to Cresswell. Cresswell is onside, despite Wolves' claims. The ball's played in to the near post. Bowen's up. Oh, and he just couldn't get his foot on it. Unfortunately, Jarrod Bowen, the ball dropped for him in the box. Had an opportunity to have a shot, but the halftime whistle's gone anyway. I mean, we've I think Mike Dean's had enough of that first half as well. Barely 15 seconds of added on time played at the end, and the halftime whistle goes. It is Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, West Ham United 0. Rio, what do you make of that first half?
Yeah, I mean, what was an incredibly bright start. Frenetic, no one really took control of the game, but we had the better of the opening exchanges. We created a really good chance, which Jarrod Bowen put slightly wide. But after that, we just forgotten we're a decent side. We let Wolves control the midfield, surrender possession too cheaply, go the ball back to them every single time. And I think it was 4 or 5 clear-cut chances, and they really should be 2 or 3 goals to the good.
Yeah,
it wasn't until that last minute or two that we really come back in this game. But you've got to say, it's a pretty shocking performance. It's very reminiscent of Genk, wasn't it? Where we was pretty awful for the last half hour of that first half. Sorry, the first half hour. The first half hour of that first half, and a really good 15 minutes. This time, better in the first 15 minutes and a shocking last half hour. I think David Moyes just wants to get that team back in the dressing room and give them an absolute blast because we surrender possession far too easily.
I totally agree with all of that. No arguments at all. It's been a poor first half from West Ham. We'll recap. I mean, it's usually at this point we'd look back at the highlights of the first half. It's going to be quite a short recap. If we do that, we'll do it anyway. See what we've got. West Ham, of course, 3 shots at goal. According to my notes here. All of them came in the opening 13 minutes. Jarrod Bowen shot from 20 yards in the 5th minute, which was closed down well and just rolled through to the goalkeeper. 7 minutes later, Aaron Cresswell's centre was headed wide by Jarrod Bowen. Quite clearly, West Ham's best chance of the first half. We'll come back to that in just a minute. Thomas Souček with the other West Ham chance 3 minutes later. A shot from 20 yards, cut inside onto his favoured right foot. Tried to bend it round, Saab, but it was easy for the keeper to pick it up. Then, of course, began the Wolves' onslaught, I guess you might say. Neves, in the 20th minute, had their first chance. Semedo had a shot from across from the left 8 minutes later. 33 minutes. What a chance this was for Jimenez. Sent clear of West Ham's defence. Only had Lucas Fabianski to beat. Tried to lift the ball over him. Well, he did that, but also managed to put it wide of the goal. And Ben Johnson was able to retrieve the ball before it even rolled out. So inept was the effort by Jimenez. Matunio tried his luck 60 seconds later from 25, 26 yards, tipped over the bar by Fabianski, even though we felt it was just going to go over the bar anyway. Suisse had a header, which again he should have done better for. And just 60 seconds later, that's 3 really good chances within the space of 2 minutes. Cross coming from the corner from West Ham's left-hand side, played to the near post. Suisse getting up first, unmarked, got a header, got a touch on it, a bit of a glancing header, and it actually went wide of the post, didn't even get on target. Semedo had a chance, which he put high and wide 3 minutes before half-time. And then, of course, West Ham did have the ball in the back of the net, Rio, with a couple of minutes to go before half-time. It'd be interesting to see what everyone thinks about this, because I'm just noted on our live stream on the live chat that Hobo also felt that it was a clean challenge by Zuma. It'd be interesting to hear what the rest of you guys think, posting on the live chat. Did you feel that was a foul by Zuma? Do you think Rio called it right when he said he felt it was actually a foul by Antonio that Mike Dean? So, I mean, looking back at that, Rio, is that sort of your interpretation of what you saw there, that it was actually Antonio, not Zuma, that the foul was given against?
Yeah, the thing is, my stream hasn't really replayed that incident at all. No. Certainly not the actual Antonio aspect. I've got one brief glimpse.
Yeah.
Judging by the KUMB forum, though, Johnny Burns Boots has put pundits think that Antonio blocked the keeper. So okay. I think that's the only thing we can really go by, because there's been no real kind of concrete evidence anywhere else. And there's been no replays of it, which if this had been a British game, British coverage, which I'm watching, it would have been replayed from every single angle about 55,000 times by now.
Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. Whatever it was ruled out. So even though West Ham, and again, West Ham scoring from putting the ball in the net from a set piece, but unfortunately on this occasion, it didn't stand. Some halftime match stats for you. The first half. I mean, look at this: Wolves 65% possession. be interesting to see what that was after 13 minutes, because West Ham had pretty much controlled the opening quarter of an hour, and that just shows how much Wolves' dominance was in that last half hour of that first half. Shots wise, 7 for Wolves, 2 on target, 3 for West Ham, 2 on target, 2 corners for Wolves, only 1 corner for West Ham, which of course, as we said a few moments ago, ended up in the back of the net, but was disallowed for what we assume was a foul by Antonio, blocking the goalkeeper. So West Ham conceded 3 fouls to Wolves. 1, that Bowen chance, Rio, we touched on it, didn't we, at the time? I think if back then we thought that was West Ham's best chance of the half, or was going to be after 30 minutes, we would have been incredibly disappointed. But of course, that's exactly how it transpired. The closest West Ham going to scoring in the 12th minute. It was a Cresswell cross. Bowen unmarked in the area. Did really well to get there, didn't he? But just thinking now, maybe, could he have done better with the shot, the header, should I say?
Yeah, I think he could have done. Looking back at it, I'm just saying another replay. As you said, he did incredibly well to get into the box. Pretty much a free header. Pulled himself away from the defender, got the room. It wasn't far away, but he really got hit the target from there. And if he's got aspirations to be in that England squad, that's the kind of chance you've got to take.
Yeah, definitely. Totally agree. I mean, you'd imagine Southgate would be looking at things like that and, expecting a bit better from his forwards, or especially those of international quality in those circumstances. Rio, I get the feeling that if it stays like this, we're not going to be first on match of the day tonight. I'm just looking at the scores coming in from elsewhere at half-time. We've got Newcastle 2, Brentford 2 up at St James's Park. Burnley and Crystal Palace. What a game this is. Palace were 1 up. Burnley went 2-1 up, and the half has finished with the South Londoners leading 3-2. So I mean, it's a goal fest up there in the northwest this afternoon. Villa and Brighton 0-0. Watford 2, Manchester United 0. And they also missed a penalty, didn't they, Rio, as well in the first half?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, we're definitely rank on last already. Well, I don't know. We've got Villa Brighton, haven't we? Who wants to watch Villa? Villa got to play Gerrard in charge. He's going to be first on, isn't he? No? Yeah. Liverpool love him.
Yeah, Norwich and Southampton, I suppose, could be the other candidate for one of those at the end. But again, they've got Dean Smith in charge, I suppose, new manager there. That's 1-1, by the way, at Carrow Road at the moment. Later on this afternoon, we've got Liverpool and Arsenal. Tomorrow, Man City and Everton, and Tottenham and Leeds, the last game of the weekend's fixtures. But we need I think we're going to need another performance, aren't we, Rio, like that one at Genk? Obviously, without conceding the goal in the 87th minute would be ideal, but it's been a really poor first half. And we saw David Moyes, didn't we, express his frustration during the first half. A lot of arms being waved and tactics being handed out during the game. But it kind of makes me wonder. We've seen Moyes a lot of times, haven't we? Really, really change things at half time and turn the game around. Did it really well against Liverpool. Just one slight tactical change in where he was playing 4-0, pushed him forward a little bit against Liverpool in that second half. Made all the difference. Just wondering why he can't do it in the first half. Save us all this anguish.
Very strange. I'm actually going to blame David Moyes for that first half, because we weren't playing that badly. The camera switched to Moyes coming up to the touchline, berating somebody really, really badly.
Yeah.
Kevin Nolan followed up to join in with it. Yeah. And the whole team felt apart. So I like being one of the first people for ages to say Moyes out. That was unnecessary, David. Put them right off, We were doing so well until then.
Yes, well, we did. We started really strong. It's a really fair point. I mean, joking aside, we had 3 shots, didn't we, before they'd even woke up. Wolves, they couldn't string 3 passes together, and somehow they managed to conjure up 7 shots in that last half hour without reply. Shall we have a look at the forums, Rio, to see what our respective the fans of both teams are saying? Let's start with the KUMB.com forum match thread to see what our fellow Hammers made of that first half, shall we?
Yeah, as expected, there's a little bit of consternation about the way we've been approaching this game the last 20 minutes or so. 61 Dixie point out. Dawson's given away the ball away very cheaply, more than twice now, and he puts us under unnecessary pressure. Again, Dixie has chipped him another one. We're giving them far too much time and space. Moyes has given them the hair-dry treatment at half-time. we're not good enough as it is. Iron Rhino, it kind of agrees with me. We've forgotten it had to be a good team. We need to get up to hard time without conceding and just regroup. Alfisti has put the defence is clearly substandard without a Bonner in the side. Jib Hammer, sorry. They have far too much room in the middle. I don't think it's a defensive issue. It's just the three behind Antonio need to drop in and help, because we did start with a very high press, and maybe that higher press has caused a little bit of space in between when Wolves hits on the break a little bit.
Yep, good point.
Iron Rhino, once again, Dawson's either great or terrible. There's no in between. And just to finish off, Wolf 359. Padlo and a few others are having an absolute mare. We need to get hard time level and sort this out. But things need to change.
Can't argue with any of those points, really, can you? Emphasised really by some of the posts on the live chat here on YouTube. John Paul saying it's an awful performance so far, and I can't see us getting anything now. Antonio Fornals and Dawson have been awful. Adam Gordon saying that Fornals must have about a 50% pass completion rate in that half, and we started well. Now we're just camped in our half and can't get out. Interestingly, just on that penalty decision, going over to Molyneux Mix, which is the forum, the opposition forum we're keeping an eye on this afternoon. Sussex Wolf says that he felt it was a clear block on the goalkeeper, backing up what Rio was saying about Mike Dean possibly ruling it out for a foul by Mikel Antonio. Just in terms of the Wolves' view on the rest of the game, what they've seen in the opening 45 minutes. Vancouver Wolf says we're playing very well against an in-form West Ham. It's way, way better than when we played Crystal Palace. JRPB3 says we've had lots of possession, but haven't created much yet. There's been a few poor final balls. And I hope if we keep up the pressure, a chance will fall our way. But West Ham will probably have a good second half. Sussex Wolf also saying we played well for most of the half. We kept control of the game, made a number of decent chances, and should be ahead. But for our finishing, can't really argue with that either, can we, Rio? I mean, you and I think said the same as we came into this halftime break. It's definitely been a game so far where, bar Jared Bowen's chance, Wolves have looked the more likely to. And should they be ahead at this stage? Yeah,
most definitely. I mean, the Jimenez one was a pretty criminal miss, to be honest. And so Fabianski had to make a really good save from a long distance shot. A couple of times, even before those chances started to build up, I think we mentioned it earlier, that I think it was Huang got in behind their defence, and he got in far too easily. It took a last-ditch Dawson hook to get rid of it. And a couple of times when Wolves broke earlier, before, we were still pretty much in the ascendancy.
Yeah.
It took last-ditch tackles, interceptions for, I think, Souček and Creswell. But the thing is, if they hadn't been there and making those last-ditch clearances and interceptions, Wolves could have been clear at the back there. It could easily be 2-3-0 for them, easily, this game.
Interestingly, the Wolves fans aren't too pleased with Huang, who's a player that we felt, might be their biggest danger today. The goal flag flying high on Molyneux Mix, saying that he isn't doing much. Maybe he should come off for Traore. And also Semedo coming in for a lot of criticism from the Wolves fans. No one's really stood out. I mean, he said Cresswell had a decent game for West Ham so far. Made a couple of errors, of course, gave the ball away, but who didn't in that first half? Who's really, for you, Rio, really needs to, pick up in that second half? I mean, it's easy to say the whole team, but is there anyone who's particularly disappointed you out there today for West Ham?
I have to say, and there's two players that really stood out for me who haven't really contributed a lot today. Pablo Fornals, who I hate saying it because he's my favourite current player.
Yeah,
but he's just not been involved today. When he has had the ball, he's lost it pretty cheaply.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's going back to last year. It was a bit of an easy target at times. Saeed Benrahma has been incredibly wasteful, pretty anonymous. Apart from that chance he put Bowen in for down the right, which led to the corner. Even that was a terrible ball. Yep. He too has been lightweight, anonymous. He's not contributing anything. There's actually a really good comment on the forum I just picked up, and I completely agree with this. This is from Hammer 1975. I think Lanzini could help us out in the middle loads in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see us getting anything out of it if we carry on as we did for the last 25 minutes. There's some incredibly wayward passing. But he's also chipped in with, are we missing Vladimir Sufeld in an attacking sense down the right-hand side?
Good shout. Yeah, it's a good shout.
So
yeah, because
both valid points from me.
Yeah, it is actually. It's a really good point. Ben, who has done a very good job defensively in that first half. We've not seen him at all. I think there was that one time right near the end of the first half when he got forward, but haven't really seen him do anything. Interestingly, just seen the players have been sent out early by the looks of it by David Moyes, and it's almost like they're going through a pre-match warm-up routine right now. It's almost as if Moyes is told them, the Wolves players are only now just coming down the tunnel for the second half. West Ham are already out there warming up. Where was that guy that time? Allardyce's mate, Phil Brown, wasn't it? It when he was at Hull, he had them in the circle, didn't he, on the pitch? He didn't let them go down the half-time tunnel. Not quite reminiscent of that, but first time you've ever seen that with David Moyes and West Ham?
It is. Normally we kind of delay our entry in the second half, and I don't know if it's kind of a mind games thing against the opposition, but our team's normally kind of always last out. And he's clearly not happy, and he's got every right not to be, because it's been a pretty shocking last half an hour for West Ham. Anything that kind of gives us an advantage and gets the mindset back in is welcome.
Michael Antonio sharing a laugh and a joke with Mike Dean at the moment, or probably something to do with the disallowed goal, I would imagine. But just quickly before the second half kicks off, West Ham Analytics, our own Callum, who is, of course, 1/3 of the KUMB podcast, the new KUMB podcast team. Looking back at the first half, says it's pretty ugly half of football. We look lacklustre and the formation's not working. Perhaps the most obvious takeaway is that we need to sign a left-footed centre-back in January to partner Kurt Zouma. He looks so uncomfortable on the left, and it's killing our build-up. That's a really interesting point, not something we've picked on, because, of course, Angelo Ogbonna Rio would normally be playing on the left side of that partnership. Zouma's over there today, looking a little bit out of sorts, according to Callum.
Yeah, it's very much so. I know it's a really easy thing to say that missing Ogbonna has disrupted the team a little bit, but obviously the shift in defensive sides, Dawson right-sided, Zouma left. Yeah, that's a change which the rest of the side have got to get used to.
Yeah,
Ben Johnson hasn't got that reassuring figure next to him. Neither's Aaron Creswell. But you're also missing your best defender by a million miles. So it's no wonder we're finding it a little bit tougher in defence, but that doesn't excuse the lack of poise, lack of intent, lack of application by our attacking midfielders who have normally been at the ball every game this season.
Paulo Fornell swings a crossing from the left-hand side, but it's hanging in the air, and it's easy for the keeper, Jose Sarr, to come out and claim. West Ham, I've got to say something, we're only 70 seconds into the second half, but it strikes me as if West Ham have come out starting the second half a bit like we started the first, with that high intensity and pressure. It looks like they've had a bit of a rocket at the break.
Yeah, and it's well deserved one. We had to change things. If we can maintain this kind of high pressing, though, and that's another thing. But as I said, we've got something like 12 games up in 38 days. Yeah. We haven't got a big squad. Playing this high press and this high intensity attacking regime with such a threadbare squad isn't going to be sustainable for that amount of games in that short period for me. So I think we've got to kind of pick and choose how we do this. So I think if we'd have come out in the first half, nicked a couple of goals, we might have sat back a little bit and tried to see the games out. But no, things haven't gone to plan. So I think Moyes is going to revert into plan A again. Let's go on from the start and try and take the sting out of Wolves' game.
Well, Wolves have just gone very, very close with their first attack. The ball kind of came down the right-hand side. Kurt Zouma was unusually shoved off the ball. The ball played just to the left side of the D, where Podence managed to put it onto his favoured right foot. It's actually gone through the legs of Craig Dawson. It's heading inside the far post, and Lucas Fabianski's looked down really, really well to make a smart save and push the ball out for a corner. But yet again, West Ham looking dodgy. The corner's come over. And Kurt Zoom was all over the place. He's completely shanked a clearance. It's come back in. And West Ham at 60s and 7s. Fabianski's gone up to punch a clearance, and Thomas Souček's actually gone up in front of him and headed the ball out for another corner. A real alarming lack of cohesiveness amongst the West Ham defence at the moment. Interestingly, Jack Elderton, who is the second or another third of the West Ham podcast team, posting on Twitter, says 4-2-3-1 formation returns, surprise, surprise. Look how much more control we have literally straight away. Well, until that bit of a farce just there, Jack, of course, which I'm sure you would have noticed. But anyway, Wolves have another corner. West Ham will have to defend this one a little bit better than the last one as we approach the 4th minute of the second half. Crossed into the centre, cleared out by Kurt Zouma. Wolves have possession again. It's back on the halfway line. West Ham surging forward to try and clear the lines. And let's see what happens. Wolves play the ball back in. It's played into the centre. Craig Dawson standing up his man. Does well to win the ball. The ball played out onto the left to Aaron Cresswell. Looks to play it into Ben Rama. Ben Rama off the pace completely. I mean, Rio, you called that right. He's just not involved, is he, today at the moment? Very unlike him in recent games.
He's been absolutely shocking. You would have thought on the back of the Gent game where he really shone in that second half, got a couple of confidence boosting goals, he'd be the one to look for. But he's not been at the races today, and it wouldn't surprise me if he departed really quickly. You got Vlasic there, you got Lanzini, as the forum member pointed out. We'll need to change this dynamic because it's not working at all, not working one little bit.
Wolves in possession again. Ball played on the right, down the right-hand flank. Looking to cut inside the balls, play back, cross comes in from Moutinho. It's a dipping one to the far post. Ben Johnson heads it out, but it's only as far as a Wolves player, 23 yards ago. It's Neves who tries his luck with a volley. It's never going to go in from there, but it's yet another chance for Wolves, and they're racking these up. And as we said in the first half, it's kind of, I think we were sort of misled a bit, weren't we, Rio, by that first 90 seconds of the second half. Looked like we may have, picked up again, but here we are on the back foot. Wolves two chances within 2 minutes yet again.
Yeah, we're really under the cosh here, and we've got to change things. We've got to utilise the bench. We've got to use the bench really quickly because things just aren't working. Maybe we need even a Mark Nove winning, trying to take the sting out of the game in the middle, or an Alex Crowell just to break play up and take one of the attacking midfielders off, bring on Crowell, provide a little bit of protection, and push Souček further forward, which he did so well last season.
West Ham subs, Areola, Soufal, Diop, Masuaku, Kroll, Noble, Lanzini, Yarmolenko and Vlasic. So plenty of options for David Moyes if he wants to change it up. And, you kind of get the feeling, Rio, don't you, as you've just said, that another 5 or 6 minutes or so of this, and, he won't hesitate to make that change. It's, Wolves are controlling the game again.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that Dave does tend to hang back with substitutions at times. But I think even he can see that things need to change, and it wouldn't surprise me if it comes sooner than later. Yeah,
51 minutes gone, 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes of the second half. It's still Wolves 0, West Ham United 0. So one goal could make all the difference, but West Ham just cannot get their foot on the ball. Wolves come surging forward again. Ball's played round the back. I think it's that's Hwang plays the ball across, and this time it's Craig Dawson. Sorry, it's Jimenez. I keep getting me mixed up with Hwang. Jimenez once again managed to break between the two centre halves, just onside as well. Just to the right of the penalty area, lofts the ball over into the edge of the 6-yard box, but Craig Dawson does well to get there first and put it out for a corner. Burnley 3, Crystal Palace 3, Watford 2, Manchester United 1. Now, goals beginning to go in elsewhere in the Premier League. Still none here. Only 2 games goalless at the moment. This one, and Aston Villa and Brighton. Wolves with their third corner of the second half. It's crossed into the edge of the 6-yard box. Craig Dawson is there to clear it out, only as far as Neves, who plays it out onto the right to Podence. Podence plays it back. Wolves still controlling this game. It's played into the box. This one looks dangerous, but Fabianski's done well. He's off his line sharply and plucks the ball out of the air. And looks to build an attack, plays it short to Aaron Cresswell. 53 minutes gone. Kurt Zouma in that unfavoured left-hand side of the defence, given the ball and looked in all sorts of trouble, couldn't get it out from under his feet. And I think West Ham have just conceded possession yet again, Rio. Shocking.
Yeah, I think you can sum it up by saying, how many times has Mikel Antonio been involved in this game?
Yeah.
It's 55 minutes in, 53 minutes in.
Yeah.
And I think apart from maybe a couple of touches in the first half, I don't think he's been involved one little bit. We've been completely under the cosh for the last, is it now, 45 minutes, 35 minutes? It's just not good enough.
We've seen our first yellow card of the day, and it's to Neves, who hacked down, really. I mean, Jarrod Bowen was about to break towards goal from the halfway line, and Neves is just coming from his left-hand side really late, and it's a clear yellow card. No issues with that one, really, Rio. Pretty much, even though it's Mike Dean, it's standard booking.
Yeah, clear cut, by the book, in you go. It's clear foul. No arguments from either side, I don't think. There's a couple of interesting posts on the forum as well, just come through.
Yep.
As I say, this Wolves are on the attack again down our left-hand side. Just cutting into the box. And he's kind of waltzed into our area. Can someone get a challenge in? Forced the corner. That was fine. Podence just given the freedom there. No one, I don't know where Aaron Cresswell was, but Kurt Zimmer trying to shepherd him out, but no one wanted to try and attack the ball. He was allowed to kind of ballet his way into the area and get a cross in.
Yeah. Well, I'll stick with you with the corner, Rio. It seems like you're ahead again.
So I think Maltino's going to take the corner. Got Jimenez and a headband hovering in their area. Someone is kind of on Fabianski trying to impede him, but the corner comes in. Headed away, thankfully, but it's only to the Wolves play at the edge of the box, who tries a long distance, but that really was going nowhere. But it ended up going to the right-hand side of the area. And the Wolves got possession again, the chop, and Fabianski's just made a fantastic save.
Yep.
The ball I thought was going out of play. It was a horrible shot from long distance, but it kind of took a deflection, went out to the right-hand side. Wolves fed it into the centre. I think it's Podence has a crack just inside the box. Tries to dink it over Fabianski, but he's got a fingertip to it and push it around the post. Really good save from Fab there.
Yeah, it was a fantastic save. Another corner from the other side this time for Wolves. That's gone long. Headed back in and, I'm not quite sure what Mike Dean's seen, but he didn't like something there, and West Ham have a free kick. So, great save, Fabianski. Good opportunity to talk about that, I guess, Rio. That goalkeeper conundrum, he's got two very good goalkeepers there, hasn't he, David Moyes? But Fabianski seems to be responding well under the pressure of having, Areola as a competitor for his main spot. Well, hang on, West Ham have broke down the left. Ben Rama's got into the box, tried to play a cross in. Danger's still there. Souček gets up first. Antonio's got the ball in the box. Oh, it's a poor touch from Antonio. Not sure what he's doing there, but Ben Johnson has the ball, plays it back to Antonio. Antonio cuts in towards the box. Can he get a shot off? He does, but it's blocked. Declan Rice has the ball now. 35 yards from goal. West Ham putting on a bit of pressure at last. Cresswell with the ball on the left-hand side. Puts across. It's a terrible cross from Cresswell, but the clearance is much better. And Declan Rice manages to retrieve. Rice driving towards goal. He's going to have a go here. He's had a shot. And West Ham have a shot. It's not troubling the goalkeeper, all right, but is that our first shot since the 13th minute, Rio? I think it might well be if you discount the disallowed effort.
Yeah, it's only taken 43 minutes of football to get another shot on target, I think, or a shot at all, to be honest. But, yeah, they all can, don't they? It's the first bit of sustained possession as well. Every time we've had the ball for the last half hour or so, it's gone straight back the Wolves within like the space of about 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Probably, 9 seconds, sorry. Yeah. As I say, Wolves on a break again.
They've scored. Wolves 1, West Ham United 0. Rio was just saying it's going from end to end, and there it is. And West Ham are in trouble now. West Ham are in trouble. I think it's Jimenez who scored, who's got the goal. It's come from about 20 yards, just waiting for the replay. Wolves countered from that West Ham chance quickly up to the other end. The ball was played out onto the right-hand side. I'm not sure. Let's have another look now just to see where the cross comes in from. It's played out to Podence. Podence plays it inside to Jimenez, who's completely unmarked on the edge of the box. And it's the first time. I mean, he doesn't even strike it that cleanly, does he, Rio? I mean, it's well directed. It's, Fabianski can't get there. It's not a really clean strike. And whatever. Anyway, Wolves are ahead. Wolves 1, West Ham United 0.
Yeah, the bank of 4 sitting there. somehow Jimenez drops off, finds a bit of space, and as you say, he didn't hit it cleanly. Just strokes in the back of the net with his side foot. Well positioned, well placed, but he shouldn't be getting that time and space at that in those areas. And no, you got to say I don't think there's any way to look back in this at the moment for us. It might spark us into a recovery, but we've been so poor for the last 45 minutes of football that's well deserved. It should be 3 or 4-0 to Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say it hasn't been coming. And any criticism of the boss there for not making a change a bit sooner?
I mean, for me, I think there is a little bit. We clearly haven't been in this game for nearly a complete half of football.
Yeah.
If you don't change things before that, there's something wrong. I think Lanzini's just come on as we say that.
I was just going to say, just as with who is it? Ben Rama? No, Ben Rama's still out there. I can see Ben Rama. Who's come off there?
I didn't see actually who made way there, but
I'm just trying to see who's still on the pitch. Is Fornell still out there?
I haven't seen him yet, to be honest.
I see Souček. I see Ben Rama.
Yeah. I think it's Fornell's who made way.
Must be Fornell. Lanzini on the pitch. Which anyway, but let's stick with this. West Ham have a corner. Bowen floats it from the left-hand side. It's a good corner. Sarr comes out to punch it clear, and it's hooked even further clear. But Lanzini has the ball, and Lanzini seems to have got a bit of the West Ham's because his first touch is absolutely dreadful, and he's conceded possession straight away. Yeah, looks like Fornell's Rio. Fair change, that one?
It could have been one from anyone from about 5 or 6 players there. But yeah, Pablo's not had a great game today. Been wasteful. He's not been his usual energetic self. So it could have been anyone, but yeah, it's a fair decision.
Now we're gone. 2/3 of the way through the game. It is Wolves 1, West Ham United 0, and it's not going West Ham's way this afternoon. And it hasn't really looked to be going that way at any point since sort of the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th minute, perhaps. But David Moyes looks cutting a very frustrated figure, almost looks like he's about to blow on the sidelines. They're not happy at all with what he's seeing out there. We haven't seen. I mean, it's only 2 minutes, 3 minutes since the goal, Rio, but we haven't really seen a response from West Ham yet, have we?
No, we're seeing much of the same. It's all kind of pedestrian. There's no real kind of gelling now. There's no kind of intent. We're at the moment, we're just knocking the ball around the back, which is the first time of kind of sustained possession we've had probably since minute 5 or 10. Perhaps what we need to do, take the sting out of it, get our foot on the ball, and try and make Wolves think a bit. But everything else we tried today hasn't worked at all. We've been making look absolutely ordinary by this Wolves side, and let's face it, they're decent. They're not well beaten. You
have to go back to April to find West Ham's last defeat away from Stratford. Oh my gosh! Sorry, I've just seen Said Benrahma dummy the ball for absolutely nobody behind him, which kind of just sums up his and West Ham's performance this afternoon. But it's been a long time, isn't it, Rio? 7 months now since we lost on the road. I'm going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat to extend that sequence anyway today.
Yeah, it's an amazing run away from home. I mean, since when the West Ham ever been a side that goes away from home and you come back thinking, you know what? We don't expect to lose. It just never happened. So maybe this performance was kind of due, but, it's just been the manner of it. It's just been so bloody... It's been frustrating because we never got our foot on the ball once today. The only thing I'm a little bit frustrated with as well is that our 2 attacking midfielders in Fornells and Benrahma haven't fired at all today.
Right.
Yet on the bench, we've got Niko Vlasic, who signed for, as I say, Wolves on the attack again, on the edge of the box, trying to chip it across. Oh, well done, Chris. Well, heads it back to the keeper gently. Yeah, we've got Niko Vlasic, £30 million worth of attacking midfield on the bench. Somebody can alter the dynamic. No.
We've just seen, Rio, we've just seen Declan Rice. Now, I was just going to say that actually, the 2 players who in these circumstances you might be looking to make the difference, and the 2 players Well, Declan Rice anyway. Of course, Michail Antonio was the other one I was going to mention, flown back early from international trip. I mean, when was the last time you saw Declan Rice do that? He had the ball at his feet, 35 yards from West Ham's goal, closed down by 2 players, conceded possession. Wolves countered and could quite easily have scored from that. It's just not like Declan at all, is it?
No, it's shocking. I think he just called me off of the rest of the team, hasn't he? No one's been at the races today, and it's probably Dex to have a go at that. It's just been such a flat performance. There's been nothing of any note that we've offered here.
Yep. It certainly has. Just seen a shot of the club's current largest shareholder, David Sullivan, and his current partner in the stands with Terence Brown, another one of the 38 directors I think we've got on the books at West Ham, WH Holding and West Ham United FC Limited at the moment, following the recent changes that you may have seen on the KUMB.com homepage. Lots of directors appointed this week, including the 2 Sullivan sons and half of Czechoslovakia, or the old Czech Republic, I think, as well. But anyway, 64 minutes gone. It's Wolves 1, West Ham 0. West Ham not at the races at all this afternoon. Our 7-month unbeaten away record is very much in danger of going right now. We need something quickly. West Ham managing finally to string a few passes together. That's really good work. That's better. Side Ben Rama now on the halfway line. Plays it forward for Michail Antonio. Can drive into space. Antonio, he's got Bowen outside him, and that's an awful pass. But Antonio's got it back. Can he do something with it? Oh, Mickey. Scored his first goal from outside the box in 7 years against the USA last week. Fancied another one there. To be fair, Rio, he's only a yard or so outside the box, but that's pretty woeful finishing. Left foot, I suppose.
Yeah, you need. He's probably exuberant after the other day. He's witnessed his team around him today. It's been absolutely shocking. So, what else can he do? He's got to take responsibility himself. And sadly, that's the Mickey that we've seen down the years who is played a little bit erratic outside the area, isn't he?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. On the positive side, that's the first time we've got into a position like that and actually hit them on the counter for the. I mean, you remember this game last year? We took them apart, didn't we, on the counter? Jesse Lingard, of course, was playing in that team, but we murdered them, didn't we, in that second half? And we need a bit more of that anyway this afternoon.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, that was the beauty of Jesse Lingard, wasn't it? In the counter-attacking side, he absolutely thrives, and we was the ideal match for him. This one. Wolves got their tactics right today. Then we tried a high press. It's not worked. When we did, they've exploited our midfield. They've nullified our midfield completely. They've shut off most of the outlets of Declan Rice, who's not really been involved either. It's only in the last couple of minutes we've actually mentioned him again. Thomas Soucek's been not mentioned hardly at all. Our attacking midfielders have been kind of virtually anonymous and off form as well. And you've got to say that this is down to Wolves' tactics. Wolves have got this right, absolutely spot on tactically. They've done the job on us here today. And, here we go. Just seeing Andrei Yarmolenko just about to come on.
And another. I think Vlasic is coming on
as well. Bad time as well. So it's the last throw of the dice, but we need to do something because we just can't. We can't perform like this because it has been absolutely woeful. We said the first half hour again, Genk was the worst we've seen us play for a good 15 months or so.
Yeah.
Today, we've gone worse. It's been absolutely worse than that.
As Rio rightly pointed out, David Moyes is about to make his final 2 substitutions right now. Niko Vlasic and Andrei Yarmolenko about to come. I get the feeling that's going to be Antonio who's going to get pulled here, Rio. What do you reckon?
I think so. No, I mean, we know the demands of foreign travel and international breaks and that. I don't care if you've had a private jet back. It still takes it out of you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So, and as we said, until probably about 2 minutes ago when he had that shot from outside, or just outside the area, when have we mentioned him today in commentary? He's been largely anonymous. Yeah. It doesn't help that our midfield haven't backed him up and supported him. But, he's not been there at the races. So, I know... Let's see, Ben Ramos.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it sums up his game today, doesn't it? That for the benefit of those who haven't got stream, Ben Rama's just picked up the ball 35 yards from goal, driven towards goal, and just run into a wall of players. And you know, as we've said time and time again this afternoon, it's just really been sort of typical of his performance. But what do we reckon then, Rio? Antonio and Ben Rama for the hook here?
I think that has to be the only feasible option, surely.
Yeah.
I know Yarmo gets a lot of criticism from certain areas, but he is capable of putting out a rabbit out the hat once in a while. And I quite like him, you know. I know he's not a fantastic player, but it's not his fault that injuries are taking their toll. And he's produced a couple of moments of magic for us, which I still love to dwell on and dine out on, you know. So hopefully he can pull one of these special things again and bring us back into this game.
I think Keith actually makes a really, really good point. We're just approaching the last 20 minutes. Let's just stick with this for a minute because West Ham have possession with Thomas Souček. Plays it short to Lanzini. Lanzini looks to see what's in front of him. Not a lot. Plays it short to Souček, who comes back to Craig Dawson. Plays it on the right to Ben Johnson. And it's back. Where was I? What was I going to say? Totally forgot where I was now. But anyway.
Live chat.
Sorry?
Someone in the live chat had made a comment.
Oh, hang on. Oh, gosh. Jared Bowen's just had a great chance.
Oh.
Jared Bowen has just had possibly West Ham's best chance of the game, at least since his 13th minute header. Mikel Antonio, I think he might have been offside slightly, but Antonio's just played him in from the edge of the box. Bowen's taken a touch on his left-hand side, and he's actually just got it all wrong. He's just gone for power instead of placement and could have picked his spot on the left-hand side of the goal there, Rio, but instead he's blasted it high and wide. What a chance that was for West Ham.
Yeah, exceptional chance. As you say, he's gone for the power option. I think this is where, I think Jared's a cracking player, but sometimes his head goes a bit too quicker than his brain. I think he thought because he had 2 or 3 Wolves defenders around him, he had to go for that option. But if he had just kind of taken a fraction of a second, try to place it in the top corner, that'd been 1-1. But in an awful performance by us in an attacking sense, he's been again our bright spark. He's 2 clear-cut chances. He's not made the most of them, but at least he's getting in places because Antonio certainly hadn't.
Well, interestingly, talking about Antonio, the substitution has been made. It's not Antonio who's been hooked. It's Jared Bowen, actually, who Yarmolenko has replaced. We correctly called Ben Rama off for Vlasic. But, yeah, I guess in some way you've got to credit David Moyes for that, Rio. It looks like he's going to perhaps go 2 up top, maybe.
Yeah, you've got to go for it, haven't you? We went losing 1-0 at Ramon. Despite the fact they've battered us largely for the large proportion of this game, we're only 1 goal out of it.
Yeah.
Let's alter the dynamics. Wolves got played with 3 centre-backs. Let's make them think. Let's try and take the game to them. Let's change their mindset tactically. Let's see what they've got to offer. Hopefully we can spark into life here. Something we haven't tried for quite a while, actually, 2 up top.
Great ball down the left from Cresswell to Vlasic. Can't, unfortunately, get the ball, and Wolves kick it out rather hurriedly. But West Ham have a free kick. Oh, it's good, actually, good advantage played by Mike Dean. Now, can the Hammers build from this? Rice plays it short to Lanzini. Lanzini out on the left to Cresswell. Cresswell looks for options. Nothing down the line. Plays it short to Vlasic. Vlasic with his back to goal back to Cresswell. Cresswell looking to play it down the line. It's a clever ball into Mikel Antonio, who's into the box. He's left his player. Now, can he find a player? Chips it to the far post. It's just too far for Souček, but West Ham have possession again. And this is a great little spell for West Ham. Can we do something with it? Ben Johnson has the ball. Plays it back to Dawson, and West Ham look to build again, but better from West Ham. Mikel Antonio looks to play it to Vlasic, can't find him, gets the ball back. Declan Rice has the ball. Wolves can't get their foot on the ball at the moment. This is good stuff from West Ham. Can we punish them? Cresswell on the left, cuts inside, not going to look to play that ball in. He's trying to make space for Vlasic. Does it? My stream breaks down. Rio, over to you.
Cresswell down the left-hand side. Find Yarmolenko, who pushes it back to Cresswell again. We're playing some nice football here. This is the first kind of bit of sustained pressure we put on Wolves all day. With these changing tactics have changed the dynamics of this game.
Yeah.
Declan Rice feeds into the middle. And we're probing the outside the area. We're waiting for them to kind of step up and make the error. But we've held possession in about 2 or 3 minutes. We're still knocking the ball back nicely. It's gone back to almost the centre line, but we're still in this. We're still doing it. We're still keeping possession. Antonio cuts in, drops it back again, back to Zuma. Feeds it in. Lanzini has the ball. Again, great play between him and Vlasic. Now we've got ball right on the left-hand side. Cresswell swings into the middle. Wolves header away. And Wolves now got the possession. But that was 2 or 3 minutes there of sustained West Ham possession, which we haven't seen. And a great interception again. Declan Rice. Ball went down left-hand side. Wolves tried to play it long. Rice stepped into middle, brought the ball down. And we're on the attack on the edge of the area. Cresswell now attacking cross, forces a corner, comes off Semedo. But a really good spell of football from West Ham here. And that's probably the best we've played throughout the whole game.
Totally agree. Really good little sustained spell of pressure. And here comes one of those set pieces, and we're praying we can do something from this. 74 minutes gone. Still Wolves 1, West Ham United 0. Aaron Cresswell steps out onto the left to take this one. Kevin Nolan and David Moyes look on expectedly. Cresswell puts a hand up. Is this going to be a deep one to the far post? Michail Antonio standing on the keeper again. Not many players in the box. I expect to see him in it. Cresswell does go long, in fact. Header comes up from Dawson. It's punched clear from Sarr. It's a poor punch, and Mike Dean allows play to continue. Yarmolenko has the ball. Can he get it back in? He does. It's a deep cross. It's come to Dawson. Heads it back across. And come on, Yarmo. Oh, we just can't do anything with it. And Yarmolenko looks as frustrated as everybody else. Sorry, Souček, not Yarmolenko. And Mike Dean, I think, has given a free kick there. But, Rio, it looked for a moment there. We might have an equaliser when that ball was delivered to Dawson. Did he make the right choice? Should he have gone for goal?
I think he should have done. I think he should have gone for goal there. But we've waited, 75 minutes? We finally put a split of possession together, and we're not out of this. We've been battered for an hour now. We're not out of this game still, though. We're in this. And I think the dynamics have changed. The change of formation, the change of tactics, making Wolves think. And they're under the pressure a bit now. I know it sounds stupid after them battering us for all that time. 7 or 8 clear-cut chances. Yeah. But the impetus is on Wolves now to try and counter us.
The home side are making a change of their own. Here comes Traore, the Marmite of Premier League footballers. Just trying to see who it is who's going off. But Traore is definitely coming onto the pitch. Podence comes off. I think it was Podence who goes off with an assist to his name. I think he created the goal. He played the ball across from the right hand side for Jimenez to score. But time is beginning to run out for West Ham. We're looking better. Last, as Rio said, those 2 substitutions, Yarmolenko and Vlasic, we've looked better since. Wolves, of course, sitting a little bit deeper and will go deeper as the minutes tick away as we approach the final whistle. But this is better from West Ham. We have hope now, at least anyway. And of course, as Rio says, only 1 goal needed, and we're right back in this game. No, I'm going to rewind, Rio, right back to when I was going to mention that comment that I never actually got to point out. But Keith Ennis, it was, who said about 20 minutes ago now that, and I've got to try and find his comment again now. But yes, there it is. Keith pointed out, we were all here sitting here saying how disappointed we've been today. But I think Keith makes the most salient point of the afternoon, saying that it just shows a lot that we are disappointed. It says a lot that we are this disappointed, really, and it shows just how far as a team West Ham have come in those last few months. And that really, even if we are to lose today, that I think is a great point, Rio. We've gone here. All right, you and I predicted a defeat at the start of the game, but I think we were all still quite expectant, weren't we? And hopeful of West Ham extending that away sequence. Yeah,
most definitely. I mean, I said I expected a defeat. The only reason that is because if I say we're going to win, we end up losing normally. So it's kind of counterproductive. But I mean, as we said, if you don't lose away from home in 7 months, you've really got nothing really to moan about, particularly from a West Ham point of view, who we've never been the greatest travellers at times, have we? So now we've come a long way. We're a great side. This has been a bit of a blip. This is a one-off performance where we've been absolutely battered like this. But we're still in this game. We're still fighting.
And it's certainly not over yet. Yarmolenko just got the ball just to the right-hand side of the penalty area. We all knew what he was going to do, cut inside, tried to curl one into the far corner. It's been blocked this time, but the momentum is building. West Ham are definitely getting back into this game, and you certainly, well, you can see Bruno Lager on the sidelines getting increasingly nervous and frustrated, barking out his instructions to his team. So he's clearly getting quite concerned with what he's seeing out there. But we need a goal, Rio, don't we? And as Keith again, and Keith seems to be the sage of the live chat this afternoon, saying again wisely right there, the best sides do dig out points from these type of games. So well said again, Keith.
Yeah, absolutely. But bad sides don't hold on to the games and be in the game still. I've been better though. How many times you see the top side get lucky goals in the last 5, 10, 15 minutes? Now, this is the mark of a decent side. We're still in this and we're still fighting.
Yep. Certainly are. Nico Vlasic sandwiched out by the left touchline, wins a free kick. It's quite a naughty one on his knee there. No yellow card coming, but it seems to be that the perpetrator, who I'm just trying to work out who that is. I think it's Semedo, who the Wolves fans were very critical of at halftime, seems to have come off worse in that challenge. But West Ham do have a free kick. It could of course be just putting it on just to allow a few more seconds to tick away. But we're just coming into that final 10 minutes now, so looks like 3 points might possibly be out of the question at this stage. I think that is a bit too wishful thinking, but West Ham have a free kick anyway. 10 minutes to go. This one's going to be hurled into the box by the looks of the way everybody's lining up. It's Aaron Cresswell with it. Just waiting to be given the go-ahead from Mike Dean. Wolves holding a very high line here, 25 yards from goal. It's delivered to the back stick. Now it's come out to Yarmolenko. What can Yarmolenko do? Oh, no. Mike Dean didn't like it. He's seen a push from Craig Dawson, who's absolutely furious with the decision, and the chance is squandered. Wolves have a free kick. Rio, we're in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, disappointing now. We've been on the ascendancy the last 5 or 10 minutes, and like I said, I think Vlasic's been quite impressive. He's played some nice little touches around. He's helped gel that thing between the midfield and the attack. Looked quite good. So let's hope we can stick this one out and counter back again. But this isn't looking promising.
No, need a goal. Need a goal very soon. There are goals going in elsewhere. Newcastle and Bradford now 3-3. It's some game. Burnley and Palace 3-3. Chelsea scored 3 at Leicester. Norwich are leading Southampton. Could be back-to-back wins for the Canaries. Now that would certainly put the cat amongst the pigeons. But anyway, just sticking with West Ham here for the moment. The ball on the left-hand side with Vlasic, plays it back to Cresswell. Cresswell looking for options. He's going to come inside to Declan Rice. Now what can Declan Rice do? Goes back to Aaron Cresswell. Cresswell comes back to Rice, looking for the break, just looking for that little bit of space that they can exploit. But Wolves sitting very, very deep now and getting deeper and deeper, as we said, as the minutes tick by. It's balls with Craig Dawson on the halfway line, who plays it back to Zuma. There's been a sending off at Watford, Vicarage Road. Oh my gosh! And well, Kurt Zuma's played the ball. Coming back to this one, Kurt Zuma's played the ball back to Lucas Fabianski. I don't think was actually watching, or at least wasn't alert. And fortunately, there wasn't any weight on the pass, because otherwise that would have been a particularly embarrassing own goal. But Fabianski, fortunately, has managed to retrieve it, and West Ham build again. It's out on the right-hand side with Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson plays it down the line to Yarmolenko. Yarmolenko will look to cut inside probably here, but it's a good challenge. Although I think that's a throw into West Ham. No, the ball didn't cross the line according to the linesman. And Traore looks to burst forward. Muscular, strong kind of player. Not so technically great, but always, a bit of a powerhouse of a player. Substitute here today, come on the pitch a few minutes ago. 8 minutes left now for West Ham to get a goal back. Harry Maguire, I was just going to say, has been sent off at Vicarage Road. Watford leading Manchester United 2 goals to 1. Ball's played down the left-hand side. Jimenez now for Wolves. Wolves a rare chance to get in West Ham's half in the last 15 minutes. Holding up the ball, plays it back. But have we had our best spell, Rio? Do you think we sort of wasted our best opportunities? I mean, we haven't really tested the goalie that much, but that last 10, 15 minutes has been really good for West Ham since we made those changes.
Yeah, no, the Wolves have kind of countered it now and trying to just take the sting out of the game, take the sting out of our impetus that we'd built. But it's not over yet. And as I say that, we just won possession of Vlasic. Did very well to win possession back. Rice and Lanzini, nice interchange of passes. Whoa. Bit of a hefty challenge there.
Yeah.
nice interchange of passes between Declan Rice and Lanzini, and I didn't see who it was. I would say he's gone through rather robustly, shall we say.
Face, wasn't it? I think made the challenge there.
Yeah.
But
So
has he given the free kick? Yeah, he has.
Free kick. Because the ball went on, but he's pulled it back after we lost possession. We've got a free kick about 35 yards out. Cresswell standing over it. I can only think we're going to kind of float into the box and get one of Zuma or Dawson's head on it. No, we play it short instead. Declan Rice, just outside the area, cuts inside. Interchange of passes again. Work it back. Cross comes across. Zuma on the far post. Flicks it on. Comes to nothing. But we've still got possession. Declan Rice again on the edge of the box. Driving forwards. Sees Vlasic. It's blocked. That's a waste, West Ham. That's a waste. We've got a throw in. But again, a couple of nice little interchanges of passing now. Vlasic again looking lively. Lanzini involved. And Declan, he's beginning to pick up the pace and drive it towards their area a few times now. So we're asking questions again. This is what we need to do. So it's still 1-0. Let's not forget that. I know there's only 5 minutes left, but we're the masters of the late goal this season.
Cresswell on the left plays it down the line to Antonio. Antonio shrugs off his man, holds him up. Real good strength from Antonio. I'm wondering if he's going to get a free kick there. Yes, he has been given a free kick. Wolves fans behind the goal, all on their feet. I'm furious at that decision from Mike Dean, but I think that's a fair decision, wasn't it, Rhea? I mean, he was getting pushed in the back and kicked on the ankles. Looked like a free kick. Great chance now, of course, for West Ham and Cresswell to deliver this. Yeah,
absolutely. Dare I say it? It's been it's probably the least we've ever mentioned Mike Dean from a refereeing point of view in every single game he's ever officiated. You know, he's actually had a decent game here.
Yeah,
I feel dirty for saying that.
I'm sure if known were he here would find a reason not to agree with us. But anyway, we got a free kick.
Ugh. I think Rice pinged one in. The angle seemed to favour Cresswell, but Rice pinged in at some velocity, but come to nothing. But the ball's still bobbing around outside the area. But Wolves seem to have got possession now. They're just going to take their time. Jimenez gets it now. Feeds on the side. I'm now they're on the counter. Declan's trying to rush his way back. I think he could go into the book here.
Yeah.
Took one for the team now. Yeah. Mike Dean's in the book, Declan. But again, I can't even disagree with that because Wolves on a break. Declan's took one for the team and stopped their counter attack. Yeah, definite booking. You can't argue with that. Mike Dean, decent refereeing performance. I never thought I'd ever say this in a million years.
You heard it here first, folks. It's happened at last. It's only taken 20 years, but of course it would be West Ham losing. You know, it would be nice if we could talk about the other way around. But anyway, as Rio says, Wolves have a free kick. They're about to make another substitution. Let's have a look. It's who's that coming off? That is Huang coming off for Dendoncker. Another player, actually, Rio, who was linked quite frequently with West Ham, wasn't he, before he went to Wolves?
Yeah, very much so. And a player that I quite like. I think with the way that the system Wolves play at the moment, and Wolves put ball in the box, they have missed an absolute sitter. From the free kick, we tried to, I think, do the offside trap, which clearly failed. And I think I can't remember who that is, but oh my God.
It's Gilman, who fortunately for us, I think he's the centre half, isn't it?
Oh.
That's a shocker, isn't it? That's a shocking miss. I can't even begin
to describe that finish, but like from 12 yards out, he's put it, I think, over the top of the old south bank of Wolves, and it's probably heading down that infamous tunnel.
It's probably heading down the M1 the way you hit that one, or the M6, should I say? But anyway, we're running out of time, mate. It's just over 2 minutes to go, and Mike Dean's given a free kick against Nico Vlasic. West Ham need a moment of brilliance, a bit of magic now from someone if we're going to preserve our unbeaten run on the road, which extends, as we said, right back to April when we went down 3-2, I think it was, wasn't it, at Newcastle? Could be the first defeat since then. Michail Antonio is receiving some instructions from David Moyes, some last-minute brief there as we enter the last 2 minutes. What about added on time, Rio? Do you think there's going to be much here?
I don't think there is. I mean, there's virtually nothing in the first half, despite the fact that Zuma was down for it wasn't a long period, but he was down for a little bit. But apart from the substitutions here, it's not been one of those games where people have been diving on the floor. You know, there's been no injuries. As I say that, someone's dived on the floor.
The timing was impeccable there. Absolutely impeccable. As you said it, my stream might be in a few seconds behind or in front of yours, but to be fair, it's quite a hefty challenge from Vlasic on Neves, but he's certainly milking it, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going a little bit over the top. It was all right. I mean, Vlasic ain't exactly a man, is he? He's not built like Antonio, but for someone who's wearing a hairband, you know, get up, will you? He weren't that bad, mate. He's obviously killing time. We know that. So instead of the 2 minutes I was expecting to be added on, I expect now 3.
Yeah, I was going to say 3. We've had 5. Is it 5 subs? I think Wolves
5
have made
subs.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2.5 minutes, 30 seconds a sub, a little bit more for a little bit of rolling around. Let's see what we get. We're expecting 3 anyway. So West Ham really running out of time. We need something urgently now. And we're not going to get it like that. The ball played down the right-hand side. Declan Rice actually chasing that one, but it's gone right the way through to the goal keeper. To be fair, Rio, you know, we just haven't really threatened Sarr at all. I mean, has he had a save to make in the match at all? Any of any note?
No, nothing of substance. I think, yeah, I can't actually recall one. Everything that has been of any kind of major threat from us has gone wide, isn't it? The 2 Bowen chances, the most clear-cut ones we've had, both put wide.
The ball's played long over the top, looking for Jimenez, but again, Fabianski, shall I say, is out smartly. We're into added on time. We don't know how much. There we go. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. We're beginning given an extra 60 seconds. So time for one chance. If West Ham can be a little bit patient, you know, there's one good chance at least, maybe 2 if we're particularly dominant in these final few moments, but definitely time for a chance. Anyway, West Ham with the ball. It's Souček, plays it to his right, to touch it to Declan Rice. Declan Rice out wide to Ben Johnson, who's not really had the chance to get forward. Cuts inside, looks for Yarmolenko. Yarmolenko's behind the defence, plays it back, but he can't keep the ball, unfortunately. Looked offside, I think, at the moment that ball was played. But West Ham have possession again. Declan Rice with the throw-in on the halfway line. Rio, over to you.
Yeah, West Ham build down the right-hand side now. Skip across. We've got a throw-in. In line with the penalty spot on the right-hand side of near where our visiting fans are sat. Now, we really need kind of something here. I think Antonio's got the ball. He's going to launch one of the long ones. So Antonio takes the ball. There's people queuing up in the middle here. One decent delivery here, Mikel. In it goes. It's beaten by the Wolves defender. But we've still got the ball on the edge of the area. We feed it out wide. Declan Rice has the ball. Kind of sorting down the left-hand side of the box. He's going to no man's land here. But somehow we've still got possession.
Yep.
Thomas Souček swings the ball in. And my feed goes.
Well, I can tell you it was a terrible ball, but West Ham been gifted the ball again. Lanzini plays it out on the right to Johnson. Now, can Johnson do something? Comes inside his man, plays it short to Yarmolenko. Yarmolenko's on his favoured left foot. Surely he's not going to try him from there. He's not. Plays it across the penalty area. Declan Rice chips it towards the far post. Looks for Antonio. Antonio takes a dive in the penalty box. You're never going to win those, son. Get up, get on your feet. And Wolves now have the chance to break out, and Traore is breaking. But Vlasic is, I think he's trying to take one for the team, but he can't catch Traore up at the moment. Declan Rice is almost conceded a foul there, which would have been a second yellow. Fortunately, Traore carried on, tried to shoot, and it's deflected off a West Ham player. And West Ham have a chance to build. 2 minutes left on the clock. West Ham really need, if we're going to get anything from this game, it needs to come from this final attack now. West Ham have possession. Vlasic inside. Souček's going to play it. Oh, clever. Through the legs of a Wolves player, but it's hoiked out to the far touchline, and West Ham have a frame which Ben Johnson will pick up. 92 minutes and 36 seconds on my clock. Rio, I'm not sure how far in you are, but this is going to be the last chance for West Ham, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I've had to pick up stream on option C here, so okay. I'm now about a minute behind you.
Okay, well, Ben Johnson's got the ball on the edge of the penalty box, looking for options, floats it with the outside of the boot. Oh, and it's gone across the goal. And unfortunately, Nico Vlasic was about a yard behind the ball, just couldn't quite reach it. It's rolled out for a goal kick, and I would imagine, given the amount of time that Jose Sarr is about to waste before he kicks this ball, that will be West Ham's last opportunity, and Wolves are going to be picking up 3 points. But yeah, I mean, there's the obligatory Wolves player lying down on the pitch, pretending he's got cramp, while his teammate bizarrely plucks turf out of the bottom of his boot. Not quite sure how that's going to help in any way. Yeah. Inside the last 30 seconds of the added on 4, and we're still waiting for that kick to be taken as we expected. And Mike Dean, not sure what Mike Dean's doing. He's telling him to hurry up, otherwise I think he's going to book him.
Man United.
What's happening? Jose Sarr's pointing at the ball. He's saying the ball is ripped, I think, which is just ludicrous because we've got 30 seconds of the game left to go. Mike Dean agrees and says we need a new ball for the last 20 seconds or whatever he's going to play before play ends. The final whistle. Wolves looking to make a final substitution while we're waiting for that to happen. We do know, and I think I heard it mentioned there, Rio. There's been another goal at Vicarage Road.
Yeah, 3-1 to Watford. Ollie, I think that job on the post is coming with that sack you're going to get.
It's going home for Christmas.
Yeah, well, Watford 3-1 up. King, Sarr and Pedro just 2 minutes into injury time. Van der Beek surprisingly got Man United's goal. But as it stands, Man United are currently 7th in the table and going to be without a manager, I reckon, within 3 hours.
West Ham have the ball. This will be a last chance. Declan Rice to Lanzini. Out on the left to Cresswell. What can Cresswell do with it? Plays it down the line. My bloody stream's gone. Okay, it's come back and it doesn't matter because time's going to be blown any second. We've now played 5 minutes overtime. Kurt Zouma has the ball. He's going to have to launch it if West Ham are going to do anything from this. Indeed, he does. It's gone towards. We don't want to see that. Declan Rice has the ball, plays it to the left to Lanzini. Lanzini, what options has he got? Plays it out left to Michail Antonio, who's playing like a left winger now. Can Antonio get the ball in? It has to go in. Antonio tackled though, and the ball is cleared out. And that, I think, that is the final whistle. It's all over. The final whistle was blown at Molineux. It has finished. Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, West Ham United 0. That incredible away record, which stretched right back to April, has gone. West Ham beaten on the road for the first time in 7 months at Molineux, thanks to a second half goal from Raul Jimenez, the only goal of the game, coming shortly after the start of the second half. Rio, disappointing. And it's a shame, isn't it? Because we've just not been at the races today.
It's one of them days, isn't it? You know, we as we've said, we've been unbeaten away from home since April, which 7 months. You're not just counting run-of-the-mill away league games. You're counting trips into Europe. You're counting cup games at Old Trafford. You know, it's been a magnificent run. But today was just one of them days where I don't think any West Ham player really stood out. Nothing really gelled. Until the subs were made towards the last 20 minutes, 25 minutes, with Vlasic come on, Yarmolenko come on, we didn't string 2 passes together. Incredibly disappointing performance, but look at the bigger picture. Look how far we've come as a club. Despite the fact we've lost today, we're still 3rd. And until the game tonight, we're going to remain in 3rd. And we ain't going to drop out the top 4 this weekend. We're a good side. This is a blip. It's sad to see this happen. This is a blip on our road into immortality, which is going to happen really soon when the investment money comes in January. We buy all the players that Newcastle want to buy, but obviously they won't be able to afford them because we're going to get them instead. But no, disappointing performance today. But I can't really moan because we've had so many good times in the last 18 months under David Moyes. It'd be really harsh to pick holes in something like today, where despite the fact we got battered for a large proportion of the game, we was never out of it until the end.
Yep, good stuff. I should just point out that there's been a 5th goal at Vicarage Road, and it hasn't gone to the away team. So I think someone else is going to be even more miserable than we feel right now. Yeah, it's disappointing, isn't it? But I mean, What do you think, though? Was it because we just didn't play today, or was it more because Wolves didn't give us the opportunity? Are we not giving them enough credit for the way they played today? Because they really stifled West Ham's attack, didn't they, throughout the game?
I think Wolves got it spot on tactically, and that was the key thing today. The first 10, 15 minutes was the much brighter side. But once Wolves got their tactics, they kind of regrouped, rethought, they cut off some supply lines to Declan Rice. They didn't allow our two attacking midfielders in Ben Rama and Fornells any room to breathe, let alone create any kind of constructive passing.
Yeah.
What you've got to give Wolves complete credit here. They, as you said, they stifled our attacking outlets. They got their tactics absolutely spot on, and it's done a treat. As we said, if they'd take their chances, it could have been 3 or 4-0, and we'd have had no complaints about that because we really went at the races. But that is because Wolves have done a job on us absolutely spot on tactically.
One of the reasons I mention that is because listening to the Wolves manager Bruno Lager on during his pre-match press conference, should I say, on Friday, he was really effusive in his praise of our midfield, and he pointed out during the press conference that there's no hiding. He was clear that's where West Ham's greatest threat was. I mean, I'm just trying to find his comments now. This is what he had to say about West Ham's midfield on Friday. He said they're not just dangerous when they're attacking, but it's also very important when they're defending because they close the pitch in the middle. He says they're very strong because it's not just the attacking statistics and the way they score goals, but they're also strong when they're defending, especially the three midfielders. They're very aggressive in that area to win the ball with good first touch to win the transitions. And again, he continues, their midfielders are strong to press and the three strikers in front of runners, so we need to be careful about that. The strategy is based around that. So quite clearly there, he was under no illusions that that's where West Ham's threat came from. And to his credit, I mean, as you said, you've got to say he got that spot on. Rice and Souček, have you ever seen them, or not ever, but certainly this season, have they ever been as ineffective as they were today? If so, I can't remember a game when that's been the case.
No, I mean, certainly, if one has an off day, which is incredibly rare, the other one shines normally. But today, both were cut off and cut out this game completely. As were all the three attacking midfielders in front of them. The only person really shone today for us in the attacking sets was Jared Bowen.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Not used to talking this long. And Mikel Antonio, anonymous, large parts of the game. Pablo Fornells, anonymous for large parts of the game. Saïd Benrahma, anonymous, ineffective, large parts of the game. Souček and Rice, not in this game at all. You can say that about one or two of our team. You can never say it about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And it was harking back to it. They've got their tactics spot on it today. They've cut off every kind of ammunition we had. They cut off every outlet we offered. They starved their attacking players of any space, time, and I've got to say, it's a thoroughly deserved victory from Wolves. They've got everything today, absolutely 100% spot on. If we'd have done that on another team, we'd be so effusive in our praise, it'd be unreal. Yeah,
I totally agree. I think they've done a really good job, and huge credit to the manager who certainly got the better of David Moyes today. Just having a quick look at some of the comments on Molyneux Mix. We'll take a look at the KUMB.com forum in just a moment with Rio. But some comments, understandably, they're delighted at getting those 3 points. Greco Wolf saying that my stress levels went through the roof. What a result, and it was thoroughly deserved. If West Ham are title contenders, then on that performance, so are we. Fair point, really. Fair point. Tring Wolf says it was a brilliant result and performance, and we deserve more goals. I thought Semedo was excellent, which is interesting because most of his fans were slagging him off at half time. DJ Mikey Dickens says very good. I don't remember Sarr making a save, which goes back to a point that Rio and I were making just before the final whistle. An all-round great team performance. Neves was absolutely superb today, and we'll come back to that in just a minute. Old Gold Ed says, I'm over the moon. I would have bitten your arm off for a draw before the game, so well done, lads. De Wolfman says 10 out of 10 to Lager for tactics there. We kept possession, wait for a bit of magic from Podence, then boom, well done, Bruno. JRPB3, a good win. We were in control for most of the game, a bit better ball to the front. Some of the time it could have been a bit more comfortable. Good game from Nuri, not at his best with the final ball, but a great finish from Raul for the goal. So, Hogan stole my wife, says, get the frig in. What a wonderful result against the informed team of England, and we bloody deserved it. I hate the defensive way we hold on to leads, not because it isn't effective, but because it stresses me out. So happy for Podence and Jimenez. Clearly delighted up there in the Black Country, Rio. I'm guessing down here in East London and Essex, the fans aren't quite so happy right now.
There's a mixture. There's a lot who obviously are happy, and as we know, when defeats happen, emotions run a little bit higher, things get said. But I'm going to point out one particular post I'm going to start with from someone who normally gets a little bit of stick on the forum, and he's normally one of the more negative Nellies, shall we say. Billy Dino has put, well played Wolves. No one has dominated us in a game like that in a long, long time. I'm still not sure why Zuma's goal was disallowed. It should have been left to VAR at least. But for Billy to come out with that first particular sentence and phrase, no one has dominated us like that in a long, long time. Yeah, that speaks volume to me. Yeah. Going through some more comments, Hammer Owlsport, it's just one of them games. Fabianski and possibly Lanzini was the only two who played well. It's a poor day, and Moyes wasn't at his best either. 4-0 and Dortmund were absolutely awful, and I can't wait until we don't see Yarmolenko play for us again. But Wolves were good. They played better than us. On to the next one. Il Mortello de Genesi, but player ratings would basically tell the story of that performance. Far too many 5 out of 10 performances throughout the whole team. Going forward, we were toothless. I really don't know what's happened with Souček this season, but he's certainly not the Souček of last. I don't complain too much, as we will still be in the top 4. But I hope we've got whatever that was what we had today out of our system. Rice perhaps wasn't 100% fit, and having him and Souček not at their usual levels really hurt us. Kick the car. When you have a relatively poor game and your opponents nullify most of your game plan, there's only going to be one outcome. Wolves worked their goal well and they deserved the 3 points. I expect more of these performances to come from us as the burnout increases. Anderson too has put, Wolves appeared a bit better team today. Only saw a bit of the first half where we couldn't keep the ball. Did play better after their goal, but we didn't deserve anything. Credit to Wolves, who set up the game plan well and executed it. It's a shame. Bonzo's bid, fair play to Wolves. They did very well, especially as we looked really good in the first 15 minutes. This isn't a bad time to lose just before the January window, as we clearly were not always as good as we think. Genk was a wake-up call. We've barely lost an away game all season, so chin up to all the players and fans out there. And PF has put, there's lots of overreaction here, chaps. Wolves plays a cute team, and he has them playing very decently. When your team will find it tough to win more than you, we didn't get going. I'm not really sure what some of us expect now, as we're officially massive. The thread has seen people dig at Moyes, Zuma and Antonio, which begs belief if I'm honest. I'm glad I gave up my ticket today. I'm also glad I'm not active here on match days, as some of you really need a reality check. There was a few comments I haven't picked out, but Kurt Zuma's come in for quite a lot of criticism. Yeah. One said, this is what obviously why Chelsea got rid. Zuma, what the hell? I didn't think he had the worst game out of our back four today either. I'm not seeing that either. I'm not sure where that's coming from. No, I can't really understand it. But yeah, the undercurrent was there. That Zuma's coming for a lot of stick. Did have his best game of the day, but I think out of their defensive setup, it was probably the pick. I mean, there also doesn't seem to be any acceptance there that he was moved from the right side of that centre half pairing to the left side, which is not, it's not his natural side. So he's not going to feel completely comfortable there. Of course, he's playing next to Craig Dawson instead of Angelo Ogbonna. I think that's harsh. I mean, the best chance we had at the match, which we'll come to in just a second, was obviously the opportunity where we stuck the ball in the net. We think it wasn't Zuma that was penalised. We think it was Antonio. It would be interesting to see what comes out about that. But I think that's really harsh. I mean, I think personally, I felt Rio that out of the two, he was the strongest centre half. He made a couple of rickets, but playing without his main partner, he's just beginning to gel and develop that relationship with. It's always going to be problematic. And
It's going to take time to kick him. But I mean, to say that that's why Chelsea got rid of him, that's possibly the most nonsensical statement I've heard this season. It just beggars belief to me. But I'm sure that's just reactionary and someone not thinking, too deeply about what they're saying. But I think we're sort of saying, well done, Wolves. You done a number on us today, and that's fair enough. I totally agree they did, but can a side with aspirations of finishing in the top four afford to be, bettered by? I hate to say, I'm not going to say it. Actually, I was going to say a team like Wolves, and I've just said it, but I'm going to take it back because that's a horrible thing to say. As we know, it's we've heard supporters from other clubs say it about West Ham in the past, but I'm talking about a team that's perhaps mid-table. It sounds even worse. I'm just digging a hole here, aren't I? But you know what I'm saying? It's a team who wants to finish top four against teams who aren't necessarily challenging for the top four, shall we say. You've got to be putting in better performances than we did today. And yes, I suppose we can say it's a one-off, but the problem is you look at our fixture list, and in the next 3 games we play Manchester City and Chelsea, and they're certainly going to be an awful lot tougher in terms of an attacking threat than Wolves were today, aren't they?
Yeah, certainly. I think this is part of the learning curve that we're going to experience. Yeah. We know that if we play against the so-called bigger teams with bigger budgets, that we sit back, soak up their possession, hit them on the counter, we're more than capable of beating them. Likewise, when there are lesser teams who probably allow us to play with a little bit more space and freedom, who aren't quite at our level, we can destroy them.
Mm-hmm.
It's that middle ground where the teams all come at us with a different tactical approach. Like today, Wolves nullified everything we had. This is part of the learning curve. We have to deal with this. We have to kind of cope. We kind of had this criticism of Moyes last year, where against the bigger sides, we kind of looked a little bit lost and not as proactive.
Yeah.
And you walked in the games thinking the inevitable was going to happen, which for the large part it did. We kind of countered that this season. It's now dealing with the team to come at us with a different tactical approach. Now we've got to adjust. And I dare say David Moyes and his setup are going to look at this game today, look at it back in some depth and think, this is how we improve. This is how we get better. Now, I have no doubts about that whatsoever. We've dealt with every kind of tactical outcome before and countered it. This is the new one today. And as people said on the forum, I think it's probably the best tactical display against us we've seen since probably Moyes took reins again.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I mean, full credit to Wolves. They completely nullified it. I mean, I can't remember the last time we saw a West Ham team not force a save from the goalkeeper in the entire game. Probably maybe when we played against Arsenal in the Cup in, Moyes' was it his last spell? I think it was his last spell.
That was his first spell, just before Christmas.
When we drew 0-0. Yeah. It was just bizarre today. Just not at the races at all. But as we said, it's the first time it's happened for some considerable time. It's just a shame to sort of lose that away record in those circumstances. It just didn't play. But Ria, I'm just going to say this quickly. I know you don't want to know the score, but I think you're going to enjoy the England game a bit later. The rugby game looks like an absolute classic, and I don't even watch rugby. But enough about that anyway. Where are we going next? Yes. Predictions. Well, we were both right. I'm not sure we're going to take any comfort from that, but we both predicted a Wolves win this afternoon. We both said 2-1, so 1 goal margin of defeat. Just about right, but it's a unfortunate one this afternoon. West Ham just not playing. Should we do man of the match, Rio? Get that out of the way. You can go first.
Yeah,
on this
I'm actually not a lot of candidates, obviously.
No.
I'll probably give it to Lucas Fabianski because he made at least 1 save, which kept us in this game, possibly 2. Sorry. Yep. The whole attacking unit didn't function as we've gone over numerous times. I think Jared Bowen was the brightest spark out of the lot, but again, you got looked at. He should do better. With those 2 chances that he had, one of them has got to be tucked away.
Yep.
Defensively, we was all but a C. But Lucas Fabianski, under pressure from competition now, has risen, hasn't he?
Totally.
He's looking like the keeper that we knew. You know, he's not as sharp as he was, but he's 37. He's entitled not to be. But when he's called upon to make a shot-stopping save, he didn't let us down. And without him today, again, like I said, he could have been 2-3 now easily.
Yes. Who was it? Podence, wasn't it? In the 56th minute, that shot that he tried to lift over in the chip into the far corner. It's a really, really good save. And of course, that one in the first half, Moutinho in the 34th minute, when Moutinho tried to lift it over him. I'm not sure it was dipping under the bar, but it looked like it was going to hit the bar anyway. And Fabianski was first to it. Certainly doing a decent job. But I think you're right, I mean, in terms of man of the match, I thought Cresswell was busy out there. I thought he had a good game on the whole. But even still, that you can point to 2 or 3 occasions in the first half where he conceded possession really cheaply. And on another day, 1 or 2 of those would have ended up in the back of the net. So, and our default candidate, who we normally, go to in circumstances like this, Declan Rice, looked to me like he was still not completely fit. We know he'd had that really debilitating illness and played through it against Liverpool, pulled out of the England setup because of it. And to me, he didn't look like he was fully recovered, or at least, hadn't regained match fitness since. I think they showed Mickey Antonio, absolute shadow of the player that we saw earlier in the season. And again, I think you've got to put that down to the fact that he's travelled so far in the last couple of weeks. Thomas Souček, just you talk about shadows of the players they were. I think there's a bit of a problem we've got there. And we've given Declan Rice that license to roam a little bit further forward. I think that comes at a cost. And I think we're seeing that with Souček. He was immense last season, and you've got to say he's probably been one of our least effective players so far this year. And I'm not sure he really knows what his role is with Declan bursting forward, so much. You made the point, and I think this is a really, really good point. And I think this is something for Moyes to think about in the week before that next game. Ben Johnson been playing absolutely brilliantly in the last few weeks. Didn't really put a foot wrong today. Maybe 1 or 2 poor clearances, but apart from that was solid. But what was he offering on the right hand side? Now, this is, as I say, this is a point you made, and I thought it was a very, very salient point in the second half. Soufal will always offer you something in attack as well. It might not be 100% at the back. Might come at a bit of a cost, but we had nothing on that right. If you assess that game, everything we created on the flank was coming on the other side from Cresswell. There was nothing. I can't think of one cross that Ben Johnson put in today. So I think you spotted that early on, but I think that's real food for thought now this week from Moyes. Does he persist? Is it a point where he says, well, Ben, fantastic defender, but we need something else, on the other side. We need to offer a balance when we're going forward. I think we made it a little bit easy for Wolves today in that sense. And I think if you're Wolves manager, you're probably looking at that and thinking, well, where's the threat going to come from? Let's double up on Cresswell and, let's just keep an eye on the other side because Johnson's nowhere near the threat. And that's one of the things you get, isn't it, when you take Soufal out? So I think that's a really, really solid point you made there. And I think that's going to give David Moyes a sleepless night or two this week. What else? Kurt Zouma. I maintain at that point that Callum made up from the KUMB podcast was spotting at halftime that he wasn't quite sure about playing on the left-hand side. He's not. That's not his usual side. Craig Dawson was in and out of the game, wasn't he? Did okay and wasn't, not his best game. Ben Rama, where was he today? That was like the Ben Rama of last season. Pablo Fornals. I mean, incredibly quiet. It was just one of those days, wasn't it, where there's not a single play you can say. I mean, so going right, rolling right back to about half an hour ago when we started this particular conversation, it's got to be Fabianski by default. I think the player that gets the man of the match award because he made those saves, kept us in it. There was also who was it? Let's just have a look at my notes. There was a save he made in the first half. Where he got down low to his left. Do you remember the one where he was stumbling to get it? The shot was going wide, but no, it was another one, wasn't it? It was just after that where he got down and tipped it round. Maybe it was the second half. Anyway, whatever it was, there's 2 or 3 good saves that he made there to keep us in the game. So it's got to be Fabianski. If you disagree with us on the live chat, let us know who you felt was man of the match and explain why, because it'd be interesting to hear a different perspective on that. We're waiting to see if Pinky, the Pink Palermo, joins us. He's at the game today. We're hoping he's going to come on the stream, but he's not appeared yet. So we'll hang on for a little bit more just to see if he comes on. But let's have a look at the other results quickly, Rio, and also match stats. I mean, this shows that we were better in the second half, I think, because Wolves, was it something like 66% possession they had in the first half?
I think, the first half, yeah.
Well, at the final whistle, it was 53-47 in Wolves' favour. So we certainly picked up in terms of, getting our foot on the ball in the second half. Shots, Wolves, 15 shots, 5 on target. West Ham, 9 shots, 3 on target. And of course, 3 of those, as we pointed out several times, were in the first 13 minutes. I think the rest were mostly at the end. We had that Rice shot, didn't we? About 10 minutes into the second half, 12 minutes into the second half, that was a bit speculative, didn't do anything. Antonio, 65 minutes, and then 3 or 4 shots in the last 20 minutes. So, really not the race. It's 7 corners to Wolves, 3 to West Ham. So, the stats there really summing up the game. Quick look at the results. Have you got the results there, Rio, or do you want me to do it? Do you want to run through them?
I've got the results.
Okay.
So, from earlier today, Leicester 0, Chelsea 3. Insert your own booze at will. Steven Gerrard gets his English Premiership managerial career off to a winning start. 2 late goals for Villa. They beat Brighton 2-0. Up at Turf Moor, Burnley 3, Crystal Palace 3. Never often you say that a rip-roaring goal-scoring extravaganza involving Burnley, but today's a lot of firsts happening. So, 3 goals for Burnley. Me, Wood and Cornet. Palace scored twice for Christian Benteke. Again, if you want to hold on to something while you go a little bit dizzy at that stat, then feel free. And Guaya scored for Palace. Carrow Road, Dean Smith, again, hold on to things. Norwich win 2-1.
Back-to-back wins for the Canaries, yeah?
Dean Smith, boring Dean Smith, has got scoring 2 goals. Back-to-back wins for Norwich with 2 different managers.
Unbelievable.
I'm thinking I might take the option of sacking a manager every week and hoping by May they could have 30 odd managers and be in the Champions League. If this happens, I'm coining it, I'm trademarking it. At Vicarage Road, if you all like to say a collective oh dear on a count of 3, follow me. 1, 2, 3. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Watford 4, Manchester United 1. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, Ollie. And at Molineux, I don't know that one. Now sod that.
Forget that.
I can run through the whole of the league if you want me to. The whole 4 divisions, the conference, Scotland. It's corners of the world if you want, but I'm a man of few words, so my voice is going.
Not quite so few this afternoon, of course, because it's been yourself and I keeping the fires burning at KUMB Towers this afternoon. It's not often we do this, is it, with just 2 of us? But
we did it at Leeds early in the season, just us 2, and we had a happy ending. Today, I don't know who to blame. I'm blaming Noam.
Let's blame Noam because he's not here and he can't speak for himself. That sounds good. Premier League table, Rio, we're still 3rd. It's just that there's and actually, if you look at it, I'm assuming that's the latest league table. Let me just refresh this to make sure it is. Yeah, I mean, Wolves up to 6th now, above Manchester United, above Tottenham, Everton, and a lot of their peers, clubs. Well, apart from us, I suppose you'd say we're one of their peers generally. Leicester down in 12th, but it's turning into a rather good season for Wolves, isn't it? To their credit.
Yeah, it's a bit of a sticky start under the new regime, but he's generally a nice little side there. It's going to take a while for their tactics to kind of stick in and get connected, but he's done it. He's turning it around. They're doing okay. They're not a bad outfit. And if another thing I looked at here with the league table, all the sides in the top 6. Only 3 of those have got goal plus goal. Sorry, 4 of those got plus goal differences. Those who have got Like Chelsea got a plus 26, Liverpool plus 20, Man City a plus 16. We've got a plus 9. Dare I say, and I hate to bring this up again, the amount of money them not spent over the years, where us on a threadbare shoestring budget, threadbare shoestring squad, we're doing all right. Today's a one-off. It's one of them things. Wolves are improving. They've got a decent manager. They operate really well tactically. We ain't going to drop out the top 4 this weekend. We're 12 games into the season, plus 9 goal difference. Things looking great, kids. Just, it's a one-off. Let's move on. Let's go again in a week.
And we and after all, we've only got the top 2 to come in our next 3 games. No problem at all. We know we raise our game for these clubs, don't we? So
they will suit our style of football a lot better than Wolves did today. Wolves did a job tactically against us, as we've discussed.
Yeah,
you can't imagine Chelsea and Manchester City setting up in a defensive manner to try and nullify us.
Yeah, and that's a really, really interesting point you make about the goal difference. I'm not sure I've ever seen a table look anything like that. I'm just counting through. There's only 5 clubs out of the 20 that have got a positive goal difference, and that's quite remarkable. You got the top 4: Chelsea, Man U. To Man U, top 4: Chelsea, Man City, West Ham United, and Liverpool. And the only other club with a positive goal difference is little old Crystal Palace, down in 9th with +1. Arsenal, Wolves both level. Man United -1, Brighton -2, Tottenham -7. I repeat, Tottenham -7. Everton level. That's a bit weird, isn't it? Only 5 clubs with positive goal difference.
It's completely bizarre, and it just shows how financially skewed the league is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because the top 3 out of the top 4, again, I'm discounting us because we're little old West Ham. We're punching above our weight. We shouldn't be there. We don't deserve to be there. The other 3 clubs in that top 4 have spent billions over the years, and I think their goal difference reflects that, as well as their league position.
Yeah.
I think it also puts into perspective just how well we're doing this season. And not just this season, but building on from last year as well. We're top 4 on merit.
Interestingly,
it's a bizarre season. But teams have got quite hefty goal difference, minus goal differences down the bottom.
Yeah,
hefty at the top, and it shows how close this league is. That anyone who wants to look at it, study it for themselves. It's quite a bizarre setup.
Yeah,
there's not many points separating the top from us downwards. I think there's 6 points separating 10 places.
Yeah. You take Chelsea out of the equation there, and a run of 3 or 4 wins, and you're right up there, aren't you? It's extraordinary. Interesting. Talking about Wolves, as we were, they've only won 1 game fewer than we have this season. You look at the plaudits that West Ham have been receiving. I think that's, just shows that they're going unrecognised a bit at the moment. They're certainly playing well, I guess, because they've lost 5 of the 12 as well. They seem to win or lose, Wolves. There's no sort of middle ground, but they're certainly having a very decent season. I'd imagine they're incredibly happy up there in the Black Country with that change they made, given how they've done so far. But one thing I want to touch on, I don't think Pinky's going to be joining us. I've got to say, I think I hope he's all right. I hope he's managed to get through that the tunnel outside Molineux. Okay, we all know what a nightmare that's been over the years, having to come out of the ground and make your way through there. But one thing I did want to touch on, and now this has been in the news the last couple of days. You'll have seen him on Instagram last night wearing a West Ham shirt. Is it that or the other? I can't remember. It goes something like that. Anyway, whatever. No, it's finger bobs, isn't it? But Jesse Lingard, would he have made a difference today?
Yeah. How can I put this? Jesse, we signed him on loan. He seemed to love it here. The whole thing with wearing the Declan Rice shirt, watching the England game over the summer. His name is always going to be linked with us forevermore. I still got a feeling he might go to Newcastle in the winter break. But rumours are that £10 million will secure his signature. I was proved completely wrong when he joined us. I always thought, what is he? He doesn't offer enough for me. He's not a good enough player.
Yeah.
I thought he only got in the England squad because he was a Manchester United player, which is 50% of the selection process nowadays, it seems to be. But he was an absolute revelation of playing for us. He suited our style of play. In the counter-attacking team, he showed every attribute you needed. I couldn't have been prouder of him and more pleased for him that the way that his loan spell panned out. Normally, sign players on loan, it doesn't always end well.
Yeah.
If some of the overtures coming out are true, and we're going to pick him up in the winter, I'll be more than happy, because although we've got a wealth of attacking options in midfield, like Nico Vlasic, I thought had a decent game he played today. He hasn't stepped himself in the setup yet. He shows signs of promise, but he hasn't taken it to that next level. But you've got to say, is that because Ben Rama's played so well? Fornells has played so well this season? It's hard to crack in. With Jesse Lingard, you've got somebody ready made for that kind of, to step into the breach and take his team up a notch. Now, he attacks with verve, he attacks with pace. He's got an eye for goal. It's a far better player than most people have given him credit for over the years. He doesn't suit the Manchester United setup because they play a possession game of football. It's always side, hit. He doesn't suit that. He hits some of the team that, like we do, soak up possession, soak up the pressure, hit with pace, power, and intent. He is ideal for that. I think you'd be a mug to chase any kind of Geordie money. I think his spiritual home is here. I'd love to see him back. I never thought I'd say that 18 months ago because I couldn't stand him. But he's a West Ham player for me. He is an ideal West Ham player in this setup. And he's an asset to us. And for £10 million, you ain't going to get a better option than that anyway.
No, I mean, I totally agree with you. And also on the basis that when you make those signings in January, you know, you normally expect the player to take not a few weeks, but a few months to settle. I mean, if they're settled by the end of the season, you've had a result, haven't you? I think usually. We saw it with Bowen and Ben Rama. You know, they took a while to settle in. I think Thomas Souček sort of hit the ground running, didn't he? But that's quite unusual. But I think you make a really good point with Jesse, is that if he were to come back in January, it's almost like having a player back you've sent out on loan in a way, because he's only been away for 6 months and he knows the setup, he knows the players, he knows the style of football. If you're looking for anyone to drop into that team as a ready-made replacement for Said Benrahma if he's tiring, or Jared Bowen or you know, Fornells, whatever, playing in any of those roles, I think you're right. I don't think you can have a player better positioned to do that. And you know, it seems a little bit ludicrous that we're saying that, you know, £10 million is a pittance, but you know, here we are in the wacky and wild world of football finance. In 2021, it is a drop in the ocean, isn't it? Relatively speaking. So I'm totally, and again, I'm with you, Rio. I was exactly the same, and I think most play, and almost it's a bit like David Moyes in a way, that we'd sort of written him off before he'd come and thought he was just going to be a sort of one-trick pony, a bit of a flash in the pan, but it was fantastic. And him and Moyes have clearly got some sort of, you know, relationship there where they work together. And he also gets on really well with the players. I mean, you saw that bond. I mean, Declan Rice seems to have that effect on a lot of people, but they definitely developed a bond, didn't they, between them? And I think you could just slot in seamlessly. So for that reason alone, I'm sold totally.
There's another point as well, is that Said is also off the African Cup of Nations in.
Yeah.
So we've got a slot waiting, waiting to be filled. I think Nico Vlasic could fill that role completely. But you get one more injury, you get one more, as you say, fatigue player. You ain't going to get a better option at £10 million than Jesse Lingard, who will slot seamlessly into that team like he's never been away. And also, another positive for me is that where he's not been getting regular game time for Manchester United, he should still be fresh as a daisy come January. He could walk into that side, say, seamlessly, and he's going to offer that kind of snap that we need. He's not going to be fatigued. Mentally, he'll be switched on. I think a permanent move would not only see what he did for us recreated, but also exacerbated as well. I think it'd rise to another level in our side.
Do you think if we took him on a permanent basis, it'd have the same impact, though? I mean, when you're only on a short-term loan, you've got to make it count, haven't you? If you're going to have an effect. If we give him, say, a 3 or 4 year contract, which keeps him into his 33, whatever, do you see him maintaining that form? I mean, do you think he's just that? Yeah.
I think most definitely. I think, as we've said, like loan deals, they either go one way or the other, don't they? They either work out really well, or they work out as a complete waste of time because the player just doesn't look interested or hungry enough. He looked both of those, but he also looked like he was enjoying his football. And I think that's the key for him. He spent so long in the periphery at Manchester United that he wasn't enjoying football. He's not enjoying football this season.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't suit the style, the whole ethos around that dressing room. It's like a poison pit at the moment. You can just see the way that Ronaldo's affected certain players, and you hear rumours about what the effect that he's had. Every player sniping at the manager. I'd be chomping on the bit to get out of there quick as I can. Play for a club you knew you was happy. You like your teammates and the rest of the coaching staff. I think you'd absolutely thrive here.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think nothing more to say really. It's a no-brainer, I think, for both of us, isn't it? If you disagree, let us know on the live chat. If you don't think we should re-sign Lingard, let us know why. But Rio, of course, making that excellent point again that Saïd Benrahma is off to AFCON in is it February? Rio, or was it January they go?
I think it's the end of January, but it runs at most of February, doesn't it?
So there is going to be an opportunity for a new player to come in. Someone else who is an option in that position, Nico Vlasic. What are you making of him? Do you think he's going to be a flop, or do you think this is another Benrahma where it's a case of Moyes is taking a softly approach and introducing him slowly?
I think it's the latter. We saw it with Pablo Fornal as well. When Pellegrini brought Fornals in, I thought he was promising. He looked good, and as he was just building up a kind of head of steam, Moyes took over and chopped him from the side. And it's one of the things that I was kind of really annoyed at with David at the start of his second tenure, because I thought you got a player there who's just new to the country, new to the whole setup, and you kind of dismissed him. But he came back, and he's come back twice the player in terms of hunger, desire, not just ability, but his whole ethic about work rate. He looks a new player. I think Vlasic has been integrated slowly. He's obviously worked with him at Everton before. And he showed 2 or 3 cameo appearances. I think today he looked really bright and really sharp today. And his link-up play between the midfield and Antonio Yarmolenko up front today, it was really promising. One of the brightest sparks we've witnessed today, because there wasn't many to take.
That's true.
I think he's going to be like Benrahma. He's going to introduce him into a little bit slowly, cajole him into the setup, get him used to the system, and unleash him. We can't afford to spend 30 million quid on someone who's going to sit on the bench for forevermore. He will play a big role eventually. And I think David Moyes, it's hard to change a winning setup, isn't it, as well? That's another thing. We've got a unit which has been working bar today so effectively and so efficiently. Where do you actually bring someone in to disrupt that flow and that pattern? I think he's doing everything right. Both David Moyes, and I think Vlasic is doing okay as well. He's not stood out. He's not shone like an absolute Lingard did, because he walked into the same and just transformed it a little bit. Now, it's a softly approach, but in the long term, it's going to reap its dividends.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think he's a quality player, and I think he's going to shine eventually. I just hope we give him a little bit of leeway, and that the supporters are patient with him, give him the opportunity to settle and do that, because he's clearly a talented lad. And you don't. David Moyes doesn't pay £30 million, does he, on a player that's not going to have an effect. Let's talk briefly about the Souček conundrum. we touched on it, didn't we, a few minutes ago, that Declan Rice has been given that license to roam since coming back from England and the Euros. You know, he revealed that he'd had a chat with Kevin Nolan and David Moyes about being able to operate in a more advanced position, and he's done that. And you know, to his credit, he's been successful. He's started scoring goals, but how much has that affected Thomas Souček? And you know, has that been to Thomas's detriment? And if so, what's the answer? How do you resolve that situation?
It has definitely affected Thomas Souček this season. I don't think last year he went more than 2 or 3 games without scoring a goal. He was a constant attacking threat. This year, he's been completely nullified. He's not the paciest of the players either, so playing him in a more defensive role isn't necessarily suiting us or him. The only way I think you can counter that is, again, but you're changing the dynamics of the whole 3 behind the striker.
Yeah.
Because you could play Souček more advanced, bring Alex Crowe in who's a more natural defensive midfielder, just to sit in front and let Declan do his thing.
Yep.
And you play Thomas in a further forward role as a kind of auxiliary striker behind Antonio. But then you have to sacrifice one of Ben Rama, Fornells or Bowen.
Yeah.
Barring today, would you do that at all? Because Jarrod Bowen's been a bit of a revelation this season.
Mm-hmm.
Saeed Ben Rama, not been consistently outstanding, but he's delivered in terms of goals, assists.
Yeah, he's had a good season so far.
And he's improved vastly on last year by a million miles.
Mm-hmm.
You can't drop Pablo Fornells. Pretty awful game today, but you know, he's
in the Spanish squad, and he's worked his way into the Spanish national team.
You do not get in the Spanish squad, even now when they're a little bit on the lax side, without being a decent player.
Yeah.
So then you've got to accommodate not only Declan in a different role, but in Souček. Then you disrupt the flow of them 3 who sit behind Antonio. It's a really hard one. I think it's credit to Thomas that he's playing a deeper role, and he's not excelled because you don't notice him doing the things that we're used to not seeing him doing, like score goals, create havoc in the box and set pieces. But he's doing a quite efficient job as a more defensive midfielder.
Yeah,
and he's adapted to that quite well, despite the fact he's absolutely shattered as well. That's another thing. He's had non-stop football for nearly 18 months, 2 years now.
So is it more the case that we just don't think he's being as effective, whereas he's actually being quite effective, but just in a more defensive role? Is that more accurate, would you say?
I think that's definitely the case. And I think on the podcast that the guys do, they alluded to this, that his defensive stats were far superior than anyone gives him credit for. I know a lot's really into the statistics side of the game nowadays, but they do speak volumes at times. You know, and it's another thing. Look, there's a lot of people who don't appreciate the work that people do off the ball. I think it's the modern phenomenon where you don't appreciate the likes. I mean, I think I'm trying to draw an analogy to when I was at my youthful stage and I'm going to games. A lot of people didn't appreciate what George Parris did in playing in midfield. A lot of people didn't appreciate Steve Potts as a central defender because it's not a glorious position, is it? A lot of people didn't appreciate what Steve Lomas did, and I hold my hands up here. I was one of those. But without those players, your team can't function. You can't operate. And Thomas Souček, although he's not doing the glory role this season, he's doing a more than adequate job.
Okay, I mean it's a good point. Again, it's a good point you make, because there's a lot of modern day football is based around statistics. There's hundreds of sites that analyze things down to the last nth and all that. But one thing you can't analyze is the work rate off the ball, unless you're measuring, yards run, perhaps, or over the course of the match. It's not interceptions, it's not tackles, it's not headers won, it's not passes made. None of that is taken account of. So yeah, I mean that's a really good point. while you were saying that, I was just checking the stats out, Rio, to see how he compared to last season. And again, this is only one statistic out of millions out there, but I think it tells paints a picture of its own in terms of how effective he's been for West Ham in the forward, in the opposition half, should I say. And last season, he played 56 matches for club and country, scored 14 goals. This season, he's played 23 games so far. So, all right, it's not quite half, but more than a third. So somewhere between that, 3/5, say, I don't know, whatever. And he scored 2 goals. So he's played, just fewer than half the games, but scored 2 as compared to 14 goals last season for club and country. And that shows that I guess that most of his work is being, unless he's just, but it's not, is it? It's not as if he's having loads of shots or headers and missing them. He's not getting the opportunities.
Yeah,
like
he's not
that advanced.
He's not getting the advanced positions from his midfield role as he was last season. And I think that's another thing you just mentioned. He's played 23 games this season already
for club and country. Yeah.
And we're just at the end of November. There's a good 6 months of football to come. So potentially he could be playing an horrendous amount of games.
Yes.
It's no wonder he looks a little bit leggy, a little bit tired at times,
What did you say it was until Christmas? Was it another 12 games you said before Christmas?
I think it's 12 games up until January the 1st, where we got Palace away. I'm sure it's 12 games in 38 days.
I think it's more than that. I think I saw something the other day. I think it's 12 games until Christmas. So then you've got Boxing Day and the game in the middle, that week. So, but even if it's 12 before New Year's Day, that's 35 games in the first half of the year. And he played 56 in total last season. Yeah. And bearing in mind, that's taking into account that he played in the Euros, So
without a break.
He could feasibly be playing 60, 65, up to 70 games if West Ham progress in the cup competitions, which is madness, really. But anyway, there you go. The Thomas Souček conundrum. I hope we've managed to assess and sum up all the angles for you on that one. We're gonna wrap it up very, very shortly. But before we do, we're going to take a look ahead to our next game. Before we do that, I'm going to have a quick look at the comments, because there's some of you have been firing comments over in the live chat, and it would be remiss of me to not mention some of those comments. Schizo Base says, when are we going to find an alternative formation for when Antonio isn't working? He should have been pulled, but wasn't that? And that's an interesting one, because both you and I felt that Yarmolenko was going to come on for him, but it wasn't. It was Bowen. Was that the right choice?
In hindsight, I actually think it was, because when he did come on, Yarmolenko, we offered that different shape and that different dynamic, which Wolves, I think, found hard to counter at times. We looked a lot brighter. I mean, maybe Bowie could have stayed on because he's looked a bit more energetic, and Antonio should have gone off. But having the two up top like that, it did offer a different question from Wolves, and we did look a lot more brighter than we had done for most of the game.
Yeah, we certainly looked better, didn't we? I mean, I'm trying to, let's see, who was it that mentioned it? If I just scroll up a little bit, I can't find it now, but someone suggested that Manuel Lanzini should be given man of the match because he looked so much more dynamic, or we looked so much more dynamic as a team when he came on in the second. David O'Rourke, it was who said it, said I'll probably give man of the match to Lanzini. Him coming on finally sparked us into some semblance of life. A good point. Hobo saying it's the final ball that's been so poor for a lot of the season, even though we've done superbly. Lingard should correct a lot of that. Harking back to what we're saying about potentially bringing Jesse Lingard in January. And David O'Rourke again saying Declan Thomas's best game as a unit this season was against Liverpool, where they both reverted to their original roles. So another interesting point there. But and finally, I mean, this is probably a good one to sum up on. Polaroid says, if you'd have offered me 3 points last week from the Liverpool and Wolves games, I'd probably be quite happy with my lot. So, I guess that's a fair comment, isn't it? It's just disappointing when you've taken those points against Liverpool to go, and play Wolves and throw away all that good work, but not profit from it, I guess. But good stuff. I think we're going to leave it there, mate, so you can go and watch your rugby. You've been waiting to go and see. Let's have a quick look at our next game before we do. One more before we go. West Ham, 2 games, actually. I think we're going to be here for this one. And it looks like it's going to be played behind closed doors. West Ham's first match behind closed doors, I think, since we played at the Amex Stadium, wasn't it, back in May? Because we went to West Brom after that, and there was fans there, wasn't there? And of course, against Southampton, we had fans there. So I think it was the Amex game. We drew 1-1, didn't we? May, so 6 months. But here we are again. Austria in national lockdown from Monday, by all accounts, and we go to Vienna. Of course, I guess the good thing about that is that all those fans who were left out of pocket by that appalling decision by UEFA, well, not necessarily just the decision, but the timing of it, means that they're going to be able to get their money back because the circumstances have changed. But Rapid are going to lose their home advantage now. It's going to be behind closed doors. Not a huge stadium, 23,000, I think was the capacity there. But this is the one. I think a point, Rio, isn't it? Is good enough to see us win the group. Or anyway, if we win, we know we've done it. How do you see this one going?
I actually think being behind closed doors might assist us a little bit.
Yeah.
I think the shenanigans of the first leg, I think might have fired up the home crowd. I know some of the ticketing aspects of the return leg could have led to a bit more of them kind of unsavoury incidents happening.
Yeah.
But I think being behind closed doors might take a sting out of the game for Rapid, and we can take advantage. The only thing I'm worried about is fatigue levels for us.
Yeah.
Particularly at the back. We've lost one of our major centre backs. He was rotating both at the same time, wasn't we? It was like Dawson Diop in the Cup, the Europa League, Zuma and Ogbonna in Premier League games. Now, we've only got 3 to play with there. So one's got to do an extra stint. So I worry about that a little, but, I didn't think there was a great side, Rapid. We've got more than enough tools to see them off.
Yeah. Okay. So a win for you. Back to winning ways on Thursday.
I think we'll at least get a point, but I can't see why we can't win.
That's a win for me, that one. I think they were poor, weren't they, in the first game? I didn't think they offered anything, and I think they're only 3 points off the bottom of the Bundesliga, the Austrian first division at the moment. And of course, they sacked their manager last week. I think it was. They got a new man at the helm, so you'd expect it to take a little time for him to settle. So I think that's a win. Just interesting to see the team. Do you think that Moyes will rest both Dawson and Zuma, and perhaps throw in Baptiste or Elise, in alongside Diop? Or maybe
I think there's a very good chance that happening, actually.
Yeah.
I'm kind of more inclined to say Elise is going to play.
Yeah.
Although after his Manuel Omoyemi incident during the Football League trophy, might get outcast for life. But I think
how ironic was it that it was Gillingham again that were the team involved?
Exactly. There's something about that place which
steer clear.
Got to eradicate from history, basically. But I think one of the youngsters might get a go because of the calibre of opposition we've got in the league following. You want 2 centre backs, 2 first choice centre backs going into that game next weekend.
Yes,
fresh.
Man City, of course, is the game you're referring to, which we'll touch on Thursday.
Yeah.
So what do we reckon? So we'll go for
Issam probably. I'd say Elise out of the 2, but
okay. So if we were picking a side, what do we reckon? Areola in goal, I think it's a given. You're probably looking at maybe even Masuaku at left back. I'm surely Cresswell's got to have a rest at some point.
Yeah, he's played far too much football. He needs a break. He's done admirably well considering, right?
Yeah.
But he does need a rest. So, but I still think he might play. I don't think Moyes
might as well
for in a defensive role.
Mm.
So unless he brings in one of the youngsters, like Harrison Ashby, possibly, and
maybe. Well, he was in the squad, wasn't he, for the Ghent game? I think it was. Soufal back in the right, I would imagine. Unless
but again,
Johnson's going to be.
I'm not convinced he will, because if he looks at today, like we was discussing earlier, and he thinks he might need a more kind of experienced option playing at right back, something to offer a few more questions in an attacking sense as well. He might rest Soufal for Sunday.
Okay, yeah, it's a fair point. Centre of the park, Alex Crowe is fit again.
I'd go Crowe and Noble.
Crowell and Noble, because he's resisted the temptation to do that, hasn't he? With Rice and Souček have played. I'm surprised at that, but you think this is the game where he'll say, we'll give you both that break.
Yeah. I think Crowell must have recovered from his COVID by now.
Yeah.
And again, European-based football is used to that style of that tempo of football being played. Nobes has got his awful game out of his system in Belgium, hopefully. A little bit of experience, because we're going to probably have a kind of a young defence. So a little bit of experience to kind of cajole them for the game. Yep. And you have an attacking triumvirate, probably of Lanzini's going to start.
Yeah.
I dare say Vlasic will start. Yeah.
Yarmolenko
probably up top. I think he'll have... I don't think he'll change either. I think Bowie might get another game as the third option in midfield.
We've not mentioned Ryan Fredericks, who I believe is fit right now.
Oh, if he's fit, then he's a natural right back for me, because you save Soufal for next week, give Johnson a little rest.
Or I suppose the alternative is to even throw Fredericks on the left.
Potentially, yeah, because he's done that job admirably on a few occasions. Mm-hmm. And he clearly doesn't trust Arthur as a left back, does he?
Well, yeah, I was going to say we've not mentioned Masuaku yet, but I think it's quite clear, isn't it, that Moyes doesn't, as you said, doesn't trust him, doesn't think he's,
Unless the option is to play Arthur further forward and Cresswell just behind him. We've got options now. That's the thing. Got options.
Well, this is it. This is the point. Isn't it nice to be able to sit here and know that you could change that entire team, and you've still got a team that is relatively capable of going out to Vienna and picking up 3 points. Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Absolutely. And we've still got the likes of Darren Randolph coming up front, All's not lost.
Ala Seeley. There you go. So it's not all bad. I mean, it's not been a good day for West Ham. We've suffered our first defeat on the road since, way back in April, some 7 months ago, when we lost at Newcastle. It's finished Wolves 1, West Ham United 0. The Hammers just not playing today. But, the good thing is, and we are going to concentrate on the positives, because it's been a fabulous, fabulous season so far. Just a bit of an off day for West Ham, who remain third in the Premier League as things stand. And I think, Rio, that's right, isn't it? Only Liverpool can overtake us between now and the next round. So we're going to be in the top 4 still at the end of the weekend, which is a measure of just how well we've been playing. Not our day today, unfortunately, but, you're going to get those off days, especially when, you've lost your best defender and other people have had to come and fill in. But anyway, there you go. It's been a good one. Thank you to everybody for your company this afternoon on the live stream. Thank you to Rio for your company, as always, to just the two of us today. Unfortunately, Pinky couldn't. Pinky, I hope you're all right if you're listening to this anyway, because I know you were going to try and come in on the stream. I hope it's something as simple as you couldn't get a signal anyway. But safe journey home to Pinky and all the boys and girls travelling to the Black Country, to the Midlands this afternoon. We shall see you again on Thursday night. It is Rapid Vienna versus West Ham United. A win for the Hammers would ensure we win the group and go straight through to the final 16, isn't it, Rio?
Yep, that's correct.
Europa League. Good chance to get back to winning ways. Not been our day today, but what a season it's been so far. And let's make sure we're back at it on Thursday.